What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
4WR. Chapter 76 Garp loses, Sengoku makes a move. Chapter 76 Garp loses, Sengoku makes a move. Garp lost. The impact was even greater than when Akainu was defeated. All Marine is unbelievable at this time. They didn't even pay much attention to the battle in front of them, so there were not a few people who were killed by the Whitebeard Alliance fleet. Impossible. I don't believe it, it must be a dream. Even, all the results Marine saw did not believe it. You know, Garp is one of Marine's last cards, and also Marine's hero, Marine's military spirit. But, he still lost. Not even as long as Akainu. Very good. Compared to the loss of soul on the Marine side, the prisoners of the Whitebeard Alliance ship group and Impel Down became excited. If they really confront Marine, they will definitely all die in Marineford. However, their goal of April 20th is very clear. That is just to save Ace. Now that Lin An has defeated Garp, he is only one step away from Ace. That is, this goal is no longer just slogans and rhetoric. It's about to become a reality. Lin An, Lin An, Lin An, Lin An, Lin An, Lin An. For a while, the whole Marineford is shouting Lin An's name. Damn it. On the execution stand, Sengoku looked at the place where Garp was lying on the ground. Depression was written all over his face. As a comrade in arms, he is also the person who knows Garp's strength best. Sengoku arguably knows Garp best. Lin An is very strong, but it is absolutely impossible for him to be defeated by Garp. It's still the kind that just fights a few moves before being knocked unconscious. Even Rox, who once fought on the Island of Gods, does not have this strength, let alone a junior in his 20s. There is no such person in this world. You bastard, since you don't want to witness Ace's death, then reject me. Sengoku's teeth itch with hatred. If it doesn't work, he will ask Kong, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, to send experts from the army and air force of the world government to come over for support. This kind of release of water is simply treating him as a fool. Garp, you bastard. Gu la la la. Whitebeard, who was sitting on the Moby Dick and was recuperating, laughed heartily. One is because Lin An gave him a big surprise. This strength, this ability, is definitely the best choice for his successor. Second come. Naturally, I also laughed at Garp's entanglement. After all, Ace is also your grandson. Speaking of which. Whitebeard froze for a moment. There was a distorted and weird look on his face. My boy, you are taking advantage of me. Ace calls Whitebeard daddy and Garp grandpa. This old opponent invisibly made him a generation older. But, Whitebeard wasn't too bothered. At this time, he thought of Garp's own son, as well as one adopted and one biological grandson. For a while, he showed a sympathetic expression. Never mind. You old guy has suffered a lot in this life, anyway, I have nothing to lose. How come? On the execution stand, Ace looked at Lin An who was gradually walking towards him. Surprise was written all over his face. He didn't expect Lin An to be so strong. It has been more than 2 months since he left Lin An. What exactly happened during this time? Did Lin An find some special cultivation method? Or did Lin An hide his strength from the beginning? Wrong. Ace shook his head. He also wanted to understand the reason for this. That's because Lin An doesn't have a stage to display his strength at all. Even in the new world, Whitebeard's influence keeps the really strong players at bay. No matter how powerful Lin An is, no opponent showed him his strength. Good guy. At this time, Ace also had a smile on his face. I didn't expect you kid to be so strong. Having said that, Ace paused for a moment, recalling the previous battle between himself and Lin An. Every time it ends in a tie. It seems that when I go back, I will settle this account with you. At this time, Ace has no suspense about whether he can survive. At this moment, Lin An was like an arrow that could break through like a bamboo, and even Marine had many people who had shaken their belief in victory. Let alone him. Marshal Sengoku. Over time, Lin An has come near the execution platform. Looking at the last line of defense in front of him. Lin An didn't mean to relax in any way. This is also the powerhouse of the previous generation. In terms of strength, it is definitely no longer inferior to Whitebeard, Garp and others. Also, he has nothing to do with Ace. Naturally, it is impossible to release water like Garp. So, full strength and accumulated physical strength. There is also room for use. Looking at Sengoku in front of him, Lin An said slowly, Papa always brings up the fights and funny things between us and you in front of us. I didn't expect that the first meeting between you and me would be in such a situation. Talking. Lin An's body rose with endless aura. Even, it is twice as strong as when it faced Garp just now. That old boy Whitebeard can still talk about me in front of you. Looking at Lin An in front of him, especially feeling the force zone Lin An exerted. Sengoku was more convinced of one thing. That is, Lin An just hid his strength, or Garp didn't let him use his full strength. After getting this result, Sengoku was even more angry. This even more shows how big a sea Garp puts. The whole body changes gradually. Sengoku's body gradually became huge at this time, and even had a golden layer. The whole person looks dignified. You can even vaguely see the Buddha light emanating from his body. It is the devil fruit possessed by Sengoku, the human fruit phantom beast great Buddha form. Certainly. Lin An nodded. The ability of the double fruit of shock fruit and sparkling fruit began to condense on the right hand of the whole person. Rays of light scattered, and cracks spread towards the surroundings. 1.5 This is also Lin An's strongest state. Lin An doesn't know much about swordsmanship. Fists are his strongest means. Father is extremely respectful of you. Ha ha ha. Sengoku threw his head back and laughed wildly. The right fist fell directly at this time. The target is directed at Lin An's head. If this punch hits, it will directly smash Lin An into a meat paste. Even with super high strength armament hockey body protection is the same result. Then, let me show you my strength. Good. Lin An responded to Sengoku's words with a smile. The right fist is also delivered. It directly collided with Sengoku's right fist that had turned into a bergamot. Boom. Chapter 77 Endless Madness, Ace is saved. Advertise here. Chapter 77 Endless Madness, Ace is saved. Either Lin An or Sengoku. At this time, both sides directly took out their full strength. This punch down. There is quite a feeling of heaven and earth falling apart. The momentum around the two sides instantly soared into the sky. For a while, the clouds in the sky were directly forced back under the momentum of the two of them, revealing the azure sky inside. Crack, creak. The fists of the two have not exhausted their full strength. The two sides are continuously sending energy towards the place of collision. Boom. There was a loud noise. A mountain of more than 200 meters on the right-hand side of Lin An collapsed. That's just the result of a little vibration escaping from the Lin An shock fruit. Boom. Inside Marineford, a base of marine collapsed directly, and a deep pit appeared there. That's where Sengoku's Buddha's light accidentally enveloped him. Both sides tried their best at this time. No one knows how much power was consumed in this. Boom and explosion sounded one after another. Countless buildings, mountains, collapsed. Countless deep pits and depressions appeared. This is only a small amount of power dissipated by Sengoku and Lin An 24. Is that a lie? So strong. For a while, everyone stopped fighting. Even, Marine and Pirates are completely separated. There is really no way. Although Sengoku and Lin An said that they are deliberately controlling. But I can't control it. That aura alone has already killed many people. And it's an indiscriminate attack. If they don't get out of the way, the 200,000 people in Marineford will be completely wiped out by the aftermath of the battle between Sengoku and Lin An. Boom. Just at this time, the confrontation between the two sides finally came to a short-term result. Certainly. That's not to say the two won. It was because the execution platform under the two of them couldn't hold on and collapsed directly. Ace. Sengoku backed away quickly for safety. Lin An took advantage of this opportunity. Grabbed the ace straight away while paving the way with shock fruit. While using moonwalk to rush towards the direction of the Moby Dick, he directly grabbed the handcuffs that trapped Ace Seastone. Junjun, open. Open your mouth calmly. Shock fruit's ability activates. The Seastone handcuffs trapped on Ace's hand shattered immediately. How come? This scene was spotted by Sengoku exactly. Shocked, he even forgot to go after Lin An. You know, after Lin An showed his equal strength, no one in the current marine can pose a threat to Lin An except him. Unexpectedly, not affected by Seastone. Devil fruit, a fruit that can gain special abilities after eating. This kind of ability is strong or weak, and even if some fruits are obtained, they can at least gain the strength of the Vice Admiral level. It can be said to be an extremely buggy fruit. But all have pros and cons. Devil fruit naturally has its weaknesses. That is sea water. Sea water will directly block the devil fruit's ability and even weaken the demon fruit's own power as much as possible. Seastone, this kind of ore that gathers the essence of the sea, has a limit on demon fruit power that even surpasses the limit of sea water on demon fruit power. This guy, is it really demon fruit power? For a moment, Sengoku frowned. The whole person is not well. No, I have to inform Dr. Vegapunk as soon as possible. This man-made devil fruit seems to have the ability to evade seawater and seastone. At this time, Sengoku still thought that Lin An just ate artificial devil fruit. Wrong. Just wanted to call Vegapunk's phone bug directly. Only then did Sengoku realize that he is still in Summit War. His purpose is to destroy the entire Whitebeard Alliance fleet. Moreover, the ace that could make the Whitebeard Alliance ship group have to fight head-to-head in Marineford and Marine was also rescued. All Marines obey orders. At this time, Sengoku began to give orders. All admirals, vice admirals, and rear admirals who know moonwalk all have the primary goal of catching Lin An and ace, and execute it now. Seeing that Lin An is gradually getting out of Marine's control, Sengoku is also anxious. At this time Akainu also woke up. He didn't listen to the doctor's advice on self-cultivation at all, and insisted on rushing out again. Just at this time, Sengoku's appeal was heard directly. The whole body began to turn into lava. Lava. Meteor volcano. Moment. The sky is covered by meteorite rain. Have to say, this trick is really powerful. Every meteorite may injure Lin An with the help of the falling acceleration. In order to avoid the meteorite rain, Lin An had to slow down. This also gave other admiral, vice admiral and others the possibility to pursue. The first one to reach Lin An was the fastest yellow ape. Immediately afterwards, Aokiji also came to Lin An's side. The two of them were originally with Margao and Zhou's to restrain each other. Now there is no need to worry about Margao and Zhou slaughtering ordinary marines. With Lin and an ace as the primary goal, they can easily avoid Margao and Zhou's. With Akainu's meteor volcano, slowing down Lin An, with Kizaru and Aokiji intercepting. Quickly, more than a dozen elite vice admirals were drawn from the battle to join the hunt for Lin and an ace. Shichibukai obey orders. 2 admirals, a dozen elite vice admirals are luxurious enough. But Sengoku doesn't feel safe. Since it is already 460, it does not consider the sacrifice of the underlying marine. Then you should do even more absolutely. There was a touch of indifference in his eyes. Sengoku spoke again. Everyone immediately joined the ranks of hunting down Lin and an ace. If there is any dissent, Shichibukai's identity will be revoked afterwards, and the pursuit will be pursued to the greatest extent. For a while, Shichibukai also had to start acting. However, Hancock has Luffy, who specifically restrains her, pestering her. Mihawk also discovered that although Buggy used Chop Chop Fruit to avoid his slash, Buggy seemed to have a very strong observation haki, and his attack could not hurt Buggy for a short time. Doflamingo is fighting Crocodile in full swing. The bear who was most likely to catch Lin and an ace was blocked by Ivankov and Jinbei at this time. There is absolutely no possibility of joining the hunt. Other parties are also doing their best to hold back their opponents. Avoid exposing Lin and to more and stronger enemies. At this moment, a figure stepped out of the shadows. Looking at Lin and in the sky, there was a little weirdness in his eyes. Is Lin and Vice Captain? Chapter 78 Marine plus Blackbeard vs Lin An. Advertise here. Chapter 78 Marine plus Blackbeard vs Lin An. A man stepped out of the corner of Marineford. He was followed by many familiar people, who even shocked the world. In addition to the old faces of Giza's Badgers, Van Oka and Drug Q. There are also Abalo Pizarro who is known as the King of Evil Government, Lafitte who is known as Devil Sheriff, Katrine Diame who is known as September Hunter, and San Juan Demi who is known as Giant Battleship. Bad Wolf, Basque Chote known as Big Wine. In particular, there is also Shiryu, who was called Shiryu of the Rain, by the former Impel Down Warden. The latter are all strong players on the 6th floor of Impel Down. Obviously, Blackbeard went to Impel Down, and took advantage of Lin An's Impel Down stage to release all the prisoners on the 6th floor and take them for his own use. The reason why Lin An didn't bring out these people is not because they are not strong enough. You know, people who can enter the 6th floor of Impel Down are at least at the Shichibukai level. How could it be that they are not strong enough? The main reason is that they are difficult to manage, or it is impossible to cooperate with Lin An. Blackbeard looked at Lin An who was surrounded by 3 marine admirals and a dozen elite vice admirals, with an evil smile on the corner of his mouth. How could it be possible for you to run away so easily? How can I gain a foothold in New World if Daddy is not dead? If I don't gain a foothold in New World, how can I find ancient documents and become one piece? Having said that, Blackbeard looked at the group of lawless pirates behind him. You go to prepare the escape ship. After all, you are all released by me. Even if there are 15, it is impossible to let me go. At present, you are not suitable to appear. At this point Blackbeard paused. As for me, I'll go and make trouble for the Whitebeard Alliance fleet. As he spoke, endless black mist rose from Blackbeard's body. At this time, Blackbeard's development of dark fruit has reached an incredible level. After all, this is the devil fruit he has been thinking about for decades. Leave Ace. A roar. Aokiji took the lead on the attack. Countless ice cones appeared around Lin An. A series of ice cones rushed directly towards Lin An under the control of Aokiji. Are you talking about a dream? For Aokiji's words, Lin An looked at him like a fool. Not to mention that the purpose of the Whitebeard Alliance fleet coming here this time is to save Ace. For this reason, over 10,000 people were killed or injured, even the vice captain and some experts in Whitebeard's sphere of influence died. Just say you, Aokiji, once you open your mouth, I will stop. Why? Quote. Cracks spread around Lin An. Shock fruit is invisible. This trick, it is equivalent to building a barrier condensed by shock fruit around Lin An. Those ice cones were shattered directly. Wait until the ice pick is completely shattered. A flash of pride flashed in Lin An's eyes. Empty shock. The roar sounded. Endless shock fruit energy spread out from around his body in an instant. A series of cracks spread at an extremely fast speed. The endless shock directly forced the dozen or so elite vice admirals to retreat. At this time, it happened that Akainu came. Let's do it together. Block it with armament haki. Listen to Akainu. Kizaru and Aokiji nodded. The 3 of them stood up straight with their arms raised. Armament haki emanates from the bodies of 3 admirals, Akainu, Aokiji and Kizaru. The cooperation of the 3 admirals directly quelled Lin An's shock. Can I help? At this time, Ace also recovered. He doesn't know how to moonwalk, so he seems to be a bit of a hindrance in air combat. For a while, he didn't dare to move, for fear of disturbing Lin An. Not yet, your primary goal now is to return to Dad. Lin An refused Ace's request for help. Out of the corner of his eye, he glanced in Whitebeard's direction. At this time, Whitebeard has transformed from sitting on the Moby Dick and stood up again. Obviously, after this stage of rest, Whitebeard has recovered part of his strength. You're not completely safe until you're at Papa's place. We can also retreat quickly. Hearing Lin An's words, Ace scratched his head and said helplessly, but I can't go there either. Throw it to me, and I'll take him there. At this time, Margot's voice came from the side. Not just Margot. There are also Joes, some captains, the captain of the pirate group who followed Whitebeard, and some other masters are preparing for the battle. It's just because Lin An and others are in the air, they can't support them. Good. Lin An nodded. At this time, golden rays of light flashed around the body. Not good. Seeing Lin An like this, Kizaru showed surprise on his face. As the owner of sparkling fruit, he knows what Lin An wants to do best. Hurry up, he's going to use Bachi Chong to hook Jade. 8 feet Chong Guyu. Indiscriminate attack method of sparkling fruit. Regardless of the low attack power and energy dispersion, but with the penetrating power of the laser, it has considerable damage to the strong at the Vice Admiral level. Sparkle. Lin An quickly condensed the energy of the sparkling fruit onto his hands. 8-foot Chong Guyu. Read out the name of the move. Endless golden lasers rushed towards the 3 admirals as if for free. The elite vice admirals who had been knocked back by shock fruit retreated again before they had time to step forward again. Not just the elite vice admirals. Even Akainu, Aokiji and Kizaru 3 admiral had to retreat temporarily. I am coming. Thief. Ha 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 ha. An annoying voice sounded. Immediately afterwards, Blackbeard appeared in midair. This guy's hiding is really deep enough, I don't know when he learned moonwalk. At this time, he stood directly in front of the 3 admirals. The endless black mist instantly blocked the front. Zhao Wang's the lasers shot by Lin An were instantly shrouded and swallowed. Looking at Blackbeard, Lin An frowned. It's not like he didn't understand that Blackbeard would be here. It's also not clear that Blackbeard has become a Shichibukai. After all, after betraying Whitebeard, you must kill Whitebeard to keep yourself as safe as possible. It can be said that his teaming up with Marine was completely within Lin An's expectation. Just throw it away. Lin An took advantage of the distance between the 2 sides to transfer Ace to Margao. Lin An, wait for me, I will send Ace back to Dad first, and then come to help you. Lin An nodded, eyes on Blackbeard. Is this the power you are after? Teach. Chapter 79 Absolute Combat Power, Invincible Lin An. Advertise here. Chapter 79 Absolute Combat Power, Invincible Lin An. That's right. Blackbeard spread his arms out, as if to embrace the whole world. Although his expression was a little weird, it couldn't hide his excitement. The black mist surrounding it swallowed it hazily, and then released it again. For a time, the sense of oppression doubled. That's the strength I've been looking for. Absolute power. Having said that, Blackbeard looked at Lin An. He said a little seductively, Vice Captain Lin An, you have always been the talent I have been looking for. As long as you agree to board my ship, I will give you the position of Deputy Captain, how about it? Oh, listening to Blackbeard's words, a strange look appeared on Lin An's face. I'm now the top criminal in the world because I beat Akainu and even Garp. Can this save me too? Of course. Blackbeard looked righteous. I'm a Shichibukai. It turned out to be Shichibukai. Lin An understood why Blackbeard dared to appear in front of Marine at this time. Well, just promise me, you will be exempted from all the previous crimes directly because of Shichibukai's special photo. How about joining my ship? Listen to Blackbeard. None of Akainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru, who were closest to Blackbeard, spoke. Of course they don't want Lin An to avoid guilt like this. 490. But the problem is, now if Blackbeard can really lure Lin An to become a member of the Blackbeard Pirates, then they have a greater hope of killing the Whitebeard Alliance fleet. This is the most urgent task right now. Silence. Even for Akainu, there are only 2 words of silence at this time. The most unexpected thing was that Lin An was also silent at this time. Vice Captain Lin An. This silence lasted about half a minute. Even when Ace was about to be sent to Whitebeard by Marco, Lin An still didn't speak. It made Blackbeard look slightly anxious. Have you thought about it yet? Think. Lin An looked at Blackbeard suspiciously. You don't really think I can join you, traitor, do you? Lin An's eyes as if looking at a fool deeply hurt Blackbeard. You wanna die, since it is impossible to win over. Then there is only one result of fighting. Blackbeard shot straight away. The right fist containing the energy of dark fruit hit Lin An directly. I admit that you are very strong, but you don't really think you can defeat me, do you? Lin An looked at Blackbeard like a fool. The energy of shock fruit was condensed by him at this moment, CEFC. Immediately afterwards, punch Blackbeard. Hey. Clash of fists. At this moment, no one doubts the outcome of the battle. After all, Lin An was the one who agreed to Garp and tied with the all-out Sengoku. How could a Blackbeard stand up to Lin An's fist? But, just when everyone had already decided that Blackbeard would lose, the black mist above Blackbeard's fist completely swallowed the energy of the shock fruit on Lin An's fist. Did you see Vice Captain Lin An? This is the power I seek. Blackbeard absorbed Lin An's shock fruit energy, which directly weakened the power of Lin An's punch by 90%. You can see excitement and madness in his expression. Blackbeard went on to tout the ability to devour everything and digest all devil fruit. This is dark fruit. I see. Lin An stepped back quickly. His brows were also furrowed at this time. If it is such a power, it is indeed understandable. But understanding is understanding. What Blackbeard did was still not going to be recognized by him. The heart to kill him has not changed. However, your complexion is not very good. Does this thing have side effects? This question. Ask Blackbeard directly. The excitement just now faded away. So what? Everything in this world has a price. I get more than I give, isn't that enough? During the conversation, Blackbeard raised his right hand. A pool of mud-like objects was thrown out by him. Dark, black water. Is it a mandatory trick to consume devil fruit's energy? According to Blackbeard's introduction to dark fruit's ability, Yunin quickly judged the general effect of this trick. Invincible. Lin An glanced around. At this time, Akainu, Aokiji and Kizaru, 3 admirals were present, and more than a dozen elite vice admirals were onlookers. At least not in the current situation with Blackbeard. Sideways to avoid Blackbeard's black water. Lin An is leaving. How could I let you go? Kizaru moved. There is a dazzling golden light on the right leg. Kicked directly at Lin An. Bang. There was a muffled sound. Lin An's right leg also turned into a streak of golden yellow at this time. Kicked directly to Kizaru's right leg. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. This time, you must die here. Akainu's voice sounded at this time. A lava fist has reached Lin An's body. Invincible. Lin An's eyes flashed. The whole body directly turned into a little bit of brilliance. Dodge Akainu's punch with elementalization of sparkling fruit and get behind Akainu. Junjun. Lin An condenses the energy of shock fruit. One punch landed on Akainu's back. Break. Bang. There was a muffled sound. Akainu's body was also shattered. Unfortunately, Akainu also used elementalization to dodge, and Lin An's punch did not cause much damage to Akainu. Frozen. Aokiji takes aim. A series of ice javelins formed behind him. Javelin. With Aokiji's manipulation, the javelins of ice flocked directly to Lin An. Winky. Aokiji's shot can be said to have seized the opportunity. Lin An can only use the fastest solution today. Laser cannon. Spread your hands across your chest. A laser cannon gushes out directly. Instantly destroyed the ice javelin transformed by Aokiji. And keep hitting in the direction of Aokiji. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an observation hockey experience. Close black lens bracket. Isn't it? How come? Seeing Lin An fighting Akainu, Aokiji and Kizaru, 3 admiral will add a Blackbeard. Everyone looked in this direction in disbelief. From the moment Lin An defeated Garp and drew with Sengoku, they recognized Lin An's strength. But, it's not that strong, is it? Let's go together. I don't know who yelled again. The dozen or so elite vice admirals on the side also picked up their weapons and charged towards Lin An. Chapter 80 Rescue Ace, all retreat. Advertise here. Chapter 80 Rescue Ace, all retreat. Fight against the entire Marine elite alone. This can already be said to be an unprecedented achievement that has never been seen before, and it is really placed in front of everyone. And it is also because the video phone bug is going to be broadcast live to the whole world, and it is completely impossible to make any distortion or modification. Terrible combat power. Invincible existence. These 2 simple sentences represent the evaluation of Lin An by everyone present. This is true whether it is the pirates or the Marines. In their view, Whitebeard has really found someone who can take his place, an existence who can completely rule the sea. By who? Z. Behind Marineford, Sengoku looks in the direction of the Moby Dick. Coincidentally, Whitebeard is also looking at Sengoku. At this moment, the 2 sides met each other's eyes, and Whitebeard showed a hearty smile on his face. As if showing off with him. Very good. Sengoku closed his eyes slightly for a few seconds. At this time, he also showed a touch of open-mindedness. As the commander of this mission in Marine, he is also the Marshal of Marine, so it is impossible to chase him out. In that case, it would be too embarrassing for Marine. Now we can only see what other people can do to Lin An. If you can still catch Lin An. No. Even if Lin An could be killed on the spot. It can also give Marine a guarantee of face, so that she won't be too miserable by the outside world. Lin An. At this time, more than a dozen elite vice admirals have already reached Lin An. A dozen knives of various shapes mixed with armament hockey and suddenly slashed towards Lin An. Siege. Lin An glanced around. Cracks spread from around him. I wish I had warned you from the beginning. Siege is a tactic that doesn't work at all for me, right? During the conversation, the energy of shock fruit explodes instantly. Directly shatter these dozen strikes. It's not over yet. It seemed that endless cracks continued to spread outward. It has spread to more than a dozen elite vice admirals. Stand back. Seeing this, Akainu stepped forward immediately. Block Lin An's shock fruit energy directly with his massive lava. Aokiji and Kizaru also stepped forward. Blackbeard thought for a while, and walked to the last position. The four people started to use their fruit energy in the four directions of southeast, northwest, and it was only then that they could barely block Lin An's range attack. This is no longer a place for you to stay. Akainu was quick to judge. Even the elite vice admiral is not suitable to surround Lin An at this time. Retire first. The dozen or so elite vice admirals looked at me and I looked at you, with expressions of unwillingness in their eyes. But, they also understood that if they stayed, not only would they not help the four of Akainu, they would even be of a disservice. He didn't respond either, and left the neighborhood quickly. Let's go together. At this time, Akainu, who was the most injured, took command. Looking at Lin An in front of him, he had to admit that the current Lin An is completely unable to cope with only one admiral. But, now they have four top players here. No matter how strong Lin An is, it is absolutely impossible to win. Lava. Frozen. Blink. Secretly. No one else responded either. Aokiji, Kizaru and Blackbeard also understand Lin An's strength. One after another, they began to condense their own fruit energy. Moreover, they are still in the four directions of Lin An, front, back, left, and right. Trapping it in the middle with absolutely no dead ends. Quote. Lin An closed her eyes slightly. At this time, the whole body condenses the energy of shock fruit as much as possible. The power of the vibration gathered rapidly at this time. At this time, the dense cracks even vaguely meant to paint the sky black. Quick, Ace is back, there is no need to continue fighting. The other end. Margao looked at Lin An in the sky worriedly. The most important task now is not to support Lin An, but to call back all the impelled down prisoners brought back by the Whitebeard Alliance ship group and Lin An. Only in this way can you leave with peace of mind. Fine. Because Lin An and Sengoku punched just now, the Marine and Whitebeard Alliance ships were mixed together, and the impelled down prisoners had to separate. After the command of the high-level officials of the Whitebeard Alliance ship group such as Marco and Joe's. Already more than half of them retreated to the Moby Dick, and the other ships. While commanding the Whitebeard Alliance fleet and the mortals of Impel Down, Margot looked at Lin An who was fighting with Akainu, Aokiji, Kizaru, Admiral, and Blackbeard in the sky, and gritted his teeth. Brother, hold on, you can leave now. Ask for flowers. Burning. Great eruption. At the same time. The captains of the Whitebeard Pirates, the captains of the pirates who followed Whitebeard, the powerful forces, islands, and countries within the Whitebeard sphere of influence also stayed behind at this time. Shining. Broken star fist. Annoying Marines, let me die. Quote. The sound of fighting came and went. Originally, because the Marine side transferred the main force to besiege Lin An, it made their escape plan easier. Now, with the addition of a dozen elite vice admirals, it's getting tough again. It is because the Whitebeard Alliance ship group and the prisoners of Impel Down are obviously planning to escape, and the Marines want to completely keep Whitebeard's side regardless of the cost, making the battle even more tragic. The communications department is listening. At this time. Even if the battle is getting more intense, if it continues like this, the Whitebeard Alliance ship regiment and the prisoners of Impel Down are bound to escape. At best, they will have more people staying in Marineford. This result is obviously not what Sengoku wants to see. Gaze around. At this time, the entire Marineford was turned into an island of ruins due to the bombardment of Whitebeard and Lin An with shock fruit one after another. Even the building of naval headquarters has collapsed. Although the number of casualties of the Marine elite has not been counted, it is estimated that there are at least 20,000 casualties. Naval headquarters was destroyed. A dozen giants vice admiral were killed. Nearly 100 rear admirals died, and dozens of vice admirals died heroically. There are also elite vice admiral casualties. If such a big price can't keep Whitebeard, then he is afraid that he will directly become the sinner of the entire Marine. Exist. The communications department responded quickly. What are your orders, Lord Marshal? Ordered. What can be done now is to remedy as much as possible. Sengoku took a deep breath and spoke again to command. Immediately arrange for someone to close the gate of the world. I'm going to die with Whitebeard. Chapter 81 Lin An's strongest blow. Advertise here. Chapter 81 Lin An's strongest blow. Hearing this order from Sengoku, the communication department froze for a moment. What? Didn't you hear my order? No, I heard it. Only then did the communications department wake up. Quickly responded. Yes, following Sengoku's orders. Soon it was passed to Marine who managed the direction of the world gate. Immediately began to close the gates of the world. The gate of the world, which is tens of meters thick and thousands of meters high, was completely built on the sea and was slowly closing at this moment. Naturally, This news was not noticed by the Whitebeard Pirate Alliance and the prisoners of Impel Down. They also basked in the joy of having destroyed Naval Headquarters Marineford and escaped. Although Marine's pursuit was fierce. But with the cooperation of the captain of Whitebeard, the captain of the pirate group, the leaders of the major forces, the strong of the island, the masters of the country, and the people who came out of the 870 Impel Down. The Marines are powerless to stop their retreat. Dark Hound. Ice Spear. Translucent. Black Water. With the tricks of Akainu, Aokiji, Kizaru and Blackbeard used. Countless waves of devil fruit energy emerge from all directions of Lin An. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an observation hockey experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Opening square bracket, closing square bracket. At this moment, the attributes are also continuously swallowed and absorbed by Lin An. The rapid increase of this attribute can be said to have reached an unprecedented speed. But Lin An didn't dare to fight them too much. Been through Impel Down and fought for so long at Summit War. Lin An's physical strength was about to bottom out. If it continues, don't say that it is the wealth and insurance that seeks to fight with the 4 opponents in front of him to increase his strength. I am afraid that I will be killed by them. Kizaru was teased by himself for a day and a night. Akainu was severely injured by him. Blackbeard would never allow Whitebeard to have an heir. These 3 people will definitely not catch themselves, they will definitely directly kill the killer. Although Aokiji said that he didn't have a big problem with himself, the strength he showed definitely made him feel urgent. Akainu, Yuan and Blackbeard will never stop when they play killers. Quote. From the corner of the eye, he glanced at the direction of the Whitebeard Pirates. At this time, the Whitebeard Alliance ship group and the Impel Down prisoners are ready, although there are still some people who have not boarded the ship. But it also takes a while to get past. When I passed by myself, almost everyone boarded the boat. Knowing the situation, Lin An no longer has any worries. Gathered all the physical strength of the whole body directly. He intends to directly rely on this trick to force the 4 of them back. Blasting. With the use of Lin An's recruitment. The endless shock fruit energy exploded over Marineford as if going crazy. Just devoured the entire Marineford. Not good. Retreat. See this trick. People immediately made the most reasonable solution. That is to avoid. Boom. With a huge explosion sounded. A cloud of smoke appeared directly over the entire Marineford. For a while, it blocked everyone's sight. Cough. Coughed. Lin An looked around. The body shakes a little. The move just now was a move he released with all his strength. At this moment, he couldn't even maintain moonwalk. At this time, because of the smoke and dust, there is no visible range around. Lin An quickly used observation hockey. After noticing that Akainu, Aokiji, Kizaru and Blackbeard were briefly forced back by him, they immediately rushed towards the Moby Dick. Lin An, Moby Dick aboard. As soon as Lin An boarded the boat, he was picked up by Margao. He quickly checked Lin An's injuries. He said with a bit of distress, "Thank you for your hard work. Now is not the time to be melancholy." Whitebeard looked in Lin An's direction, with relief in his eyes. If Lin An wasn't there this time, let alone saving Ace, he himself will be left here. Go, escape from Marineford first. With Whitebeard at the helm. A dozen ships started to move. The Moby Dick took the lead, with the other ships following. Go in the direction of the Gate of the World. What's going on now? After about 5 minutes, the smoke gradually dissipated. Sengoku looked at Marineford, the corner of his mouth twitched. Today's Marineford is not to mention finding out the former naval headquarters. The entire island was razed to the ground by Lin An's move just now. The ground in the middle of the entire Marineford is directly sunken. Fine. The Marines have just been chasing the Whitebeard Alliance fleet and the people of Impel down to the coastline. This did not cause too many casualties to Marine. If not, Lin An's move just now was enough to wipe out the entire Marine elite. Immediately arrange for everyone to find a Marine warship that can still sail, and then let the other Marine bases in the nearby waters immediately attack with the whole army. Be sure to keep the Whitebeard Alliance fleet and the prisoners of Impel down. The gate to the world has been closed by me ahead of time, it is impossible for them to escape. Kill. Everyone can directly kill the Whitebeard Alliance ship group and the prisoners of Impel down. Sengoku is crazy. Totally insane. This operation can be said to be a big failure. A big failure for the entire Marine career. And at this time, the ships of the Whitebeard Alliance ship group and the prisoners of Impel down had already arrived near the Gate of the World by virtue of the time difference. How come? The huge Gate of the World that spans the entire sea area and towers into the sky has been closed. Looking at the Gate of the World, the prisoners of the Whitebeard Alliance ship group and Impel down all look desperate at this moment. Even Crocodile, a top player like Jinbei, is a little at a loss. Do not be afraid. 1.5 At this moment, a voice sounded. The sound is rich and full of security. Whitebeard walked slowly to the front of the Moby Dick. Eyes look at the gate of the world. When the old man was galloping above the sea, there was never any door that could stop me. During the conversation, Whitebeard squatted down. Immediately above the right fist, endless shock fruit energy gathered. What is this for? Could it be? Could it be? For a moment, everyone else who saw Whitebeard was taken aback. Tremblingly, he expressed the conjecture in his heart. Isn't it going to smash the gate of this world directly? Chapter 82 Marine failed, stormy sea. Advertise here. Chapter 82. Marine fails, stormy seas. Hoo la 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 la. Whitebeard's signature laugh rang through the air. What's unbelievable about that? During the conversation. At this time, the shock fruit energy gathered in Whitebeard's hand was densely packed with cracks, as if a small black hole was formed. Break Laozi. With a roar, Whitebeard threw a straight right fist. Cracks spread rapidly towards the door of the world. Boom. The huge shock fruit energy directly penetrates the entire gate of the world. The alloy gate with a thickness of tens of meters seemed to be a ridiculous joke in front of Whitebeard. He directly opened his mind, as if welcoming the return of the king of the sea. Let's go. After smashing the gate of the world, Whitebeard slowly returned to his seat, and said such a sentence in a flat manner, ignoring the sluggish eyes of Margot and Josie around him. Destroyed. 24. Totally ruined. Marine's failure was unreservedly seen by everyone in the world through the live broadcast of the video phone bug. Even those who didn't see it for a while because they were busy with work, housework, etc., they all learned a general idea through the newspaper. Marine, you lost. In a small town. Watch the faded images in the video phone bug. Unbelievable was written all over his face. To know. Except New World. Marine is heaven, and Marine is the most powerful thought in the world has long been deeply rooted in their minds. However, even so Marine, when facing the Whitebeard Alliance fleet, they still lost. So what if there are prisoners from Impel down as support? As the saying goes, after losing, everything can only be an excuse. If you lose, you lose. These ordinary people don't care so much. This is how to do. In the small town, worrying for a while. There was a look of despair in everyone's eyes. In their view, Marines are just and pirates are evil. After all, pirates will rob their money, rob their food, and even kill their lives. And Marine will protect them. Now Marine loses. Does it mean that the world will be occupied by pirates? For a while, because this conjecture is thought of by more and more people, the town gradually became crazy. Hurry up and hide. It's over, the pirates will definitely come out of that new world soon. At that time, ordinary people like us will only be killed. Hurry up and hide. Find a powerful country to immigrate to, this small island can't survive. The whole town was in a panic. They thought of other similar towns being robbed by pirates. Money was looted and all food was taken away. Men are all killed, women are all. Even children and the elderly, they have not let go. Such a situation does not only appear in this small town. Almost the entire world, as long as there is no powerful country, is similar to places and islands. Chickens fly and dogs jump, panicking all day long. Even those places with powerful countries and powerful armies are all frightened. New World, all nations. Good guy, the old man Newgate has really cultivated a good air. Surprisingly, the ant didn't go to eat, but stayed quietly on the throne and watched the live broadcast of the video phone bug. This sitting is nearly half a day. Going half a day without food didn't turn her bulimia into a rampage. On the contrary, he became a little excited because of the situation in the video phone bug. As that Lin An, it seems that the countermeasures with that old Newgate guy will become a little more narrow in the future. I don't want to really provoke such an opponent. During the conversation, Big Mom stood up from the chair. He looked at the head chef who had been waiting for an unknown amount of time. Immediately, prepare 20 tons of cakes for me immediately. Ah, the head chef was taken aback. I asked my aunt again, how long will it take to finish it? Half an hour. The aunt said the answer without thinking too much, I've been hungry for too long. This sentence is really not wrong. Not to mention bulimia like aunt, even ordinary people will be hungry after being hungry for nearly a day. How is it possible? The head chef jumped up in fright. 20 tons of cakes in half an hour. Let alone the cake. Eggs and cream are not ready. The aunt looked in the direction of the head chef dissatisfied. Is there a problem? Without. The head chef shook his head again and again. Don't bother about aunt. He has been with you for such a long time, of course he knows your aunt. Although the aunt said that she was very irritable. But that's only for food. In other respects, it will be slightly generous. Especially for those who cook for her. Just take your time and measure. Then basically there will be no punishment. The cooks obey orders. Prepare the cake immediately. Half an hour, 20 tons. Somewhere on the Grand Line, several ships stopped in place. From the look of the ship, the destination seemed to be in the direction of Marineford. Looking at the people on board and the flag of the pirate ship, one knew who they were. 4 Emperors Shanks and his red-haired pirate ship. It's really unbelievable. Shanks recalled a little 243 watt was in the video phone bug. He still hasn't recovered until now. The head-to-head confrontation between the Whitebeard Alliance fleet and Marine. The battle between the Whitebeard captains and the Marine powerhouse. In particular, Lin An's rescue is even more amazing. Coupled with the invincible spirit of Whitebeard and Lin An, it is even more surprising. If I knew they still had such strength, I wouldn't have come. Not coming. Hearing what Shanks said, Beckman, who was smoking a cigarette beside him, gave a disdainful smile. If you can really control yourself not to come. My name, Ben Beckman, is written backwards. Cough cough. Shanks scratched his head in embarrassment. He looked at Beckman in front of him with a little blame. Hey, I'm the captain, can't you save me some face? Do you still want to save face? Another voice sounded, and Usopp jumped out. Captain, there are no outsiders here, so we won't be tense anymore. Hearing Usopp's words, Shanks raised an eyebrow. However, it has not waited for Thix to scold Usopp. Lackey, who was eating meat at the side, also took advantage of the opportunity and said, if anyone on our ship has to say who is more qualified, it will be Beckman, the deputy captain. Chapter 83. Aftermath of the War, Responses Around the World. Advertise here. Chapter 83. Aftermath of the War, Responses Around the World. For a time, Red Hair Pirates was full of cheerful atmosphere. Shanks originally planned to take the Red Hair Pirates and their forces to save the Whitebeard Alliance fleet. Even if Whitebeard cannot be saved, at least the Whitebeard Pirates must be kept. Because only in this way, even if New World will change due to the lack of the four emperors, it will only be gradually eroded and disintegrated because it still has the roots of the Whitebeard Pirates, and it will not directly lead to the complete collapse of New World. Now it seems that my own thoughts are completely overwhelmed, and the Day Alliance ship group has a solution by itself. As that Lin An, Shanks ignored the taunting crew members and looked in the direction of Marineford. Perhaps, a big change is coming soon. Wano Kuni, where there are many. Looking at the video phone bug, Kaido dropped the wine can in his hand. Serenity was written all over his face. This is the first time he has shown such an expression after taking root in Wano Kuni. As that Lin An, Kaido is trying to remember everything in his mind. At this moment, he also thought of the person who captured Jack. It turned out to be him. Kaido spoke softly. It seems that Whitebeard has found a very good heir. Governor. At this time, Jack below had a serious look on his face. Do you want Quinn to come back? Unnecessary. Kaido thought for a moment before speaking again. Although the Whitebeard Pirates said they escaped from Marine, they were also severely injured. Our occupation of several of their islands is just a normal turf grab. They won't have the energy to deal with us after fighting Marine. This loss, they will eat it. Marineford. Watching the Whitebeard Confederate ships and impel down prisoners fleeing. Marine has stopped the pursuit. It doesn't make any sense to continue chasing now. Once they enter New World, maybe Marine will become a living target of various forces in New World. How is it possible? Backquote. We actually lost. At this time, the Marines fell into despair. Only those who have tasted this feeling of regret that they have tried their best but still failed to achieve their goals can feel it. What do we do now? Marines on the warship, look at me, and I look at you. Don't know what to do next. The above did not give them any orders, as if they were going to give up. Destroyed. Totally ruined. A small number of Marine rear admirals gathered together. The failure of this war will inevitably cause Marine's prestige to plummet. The future missions, even the Grand Line and Four Seas, will be much more difficult. More than that, someone answered immediately. The casualties of this war were close to 50,000. You know, these are the elite of the elite drawn from all over the world. The casualties of more than 50,000 people are enough to cause Marine to lose combat effectiveness in a large number of places in a short period of time, and the number of criminals and pirates will rise in a straight line. Compared with the bottom layer, Marine's mid-level and senior management are much calmer. People above Vice Admiral level are brought together by Sengoku. Marshal Sengoku. Aokiji looked at the vicissitudes of Sengoku in front of him, hesitant to speak. Do not worry about me. Sengoku gave Aokiji a reassuring look. With my status, no matter how I say it, it is impossible for me to lose my life. Sengoku said it very lightly. But others do too. If you don't lose your life, it's already the limit. Sengoku's defeat this time lost the prestige of the entire Marine. I am afraid that Sengoku will not be seen in Marine in the future. On the Grand Line, a dozen ships are headed towards New World. It was the Whitebeard Consortium and impel down prisoners who had escaped from Marineford. At this time, Ivankov and Lightning have left with the new humans, who brought Impel down to the 5.5th floor. Jinbei and Crocodile also left. Their departure also took away a lot of Impel down prisoners. Luffy, Buggy, etc. also planned to return to their own pirate group, and did not stay for long. There are also some prisoners who have concerns in their hearts and choose to leave. Plus those who died at Marineford. The originally mighty army of 20,000 Impel down prisoners now only has more than 1,000 people left. But that's not bad either. After all, if you have to talk about the headquarters, the Whitebeard Pirates only have 1,600 people. In addition, those who stay are also masters who have no worries and are not bad. Most importantly, they will become Lin Press's own crew. Counting Lin An's status, Lin An has obtained the strongest strength and influence of the Whitebeard Pirates except Whitebeard at this time. The Whitebeard Pirates, aboard the Moby Dick. Whitebeard sat in the bow. His condition is not good. As soon as he was out of danger, he immediately started playing the bottle under Mars arrangement. As for Lin An's attrition was even greater, and the prisoners of the Whitebeard Alliance ship group and Impel Down passed out as soon as they were out of danger. Now it has been arranged by Margao in the cabin, and 3 nurses have been arranged to take care of them in 24-hour shifts. It's like a dream. On the deck of the ship, there are still people with physical strength in the posture boat. Others are chatting. The Marineford Summit War this time can be said to be thrilling. And they survived. If there is any major event worth recording in this world, then this event is definitely the most important one. It is not unthinkable for Marine to be defeated. This kind of thing happens a lot every year. But it wasn't just Marine they beat. Instead, enter Marineford in naval headquarters under Marine's ambush and coercion, and then defeat it. Being able to survive this incident already constitutes the title of legend. Good jows. You don't know, before Laozi rushed into the pile of Marines and killed 7 in and 7 out. I reasoned that there were dozens of Marines if not 100. What are you? My brothers and I formed a formation, rushing into the pile of Marines like a meat grinder, and sweeping away the dust every time we pass by like an autumn wind sweeping fallen leaves. Compare that to Marines' 50,000 casualties. The Whitebeard Consortium and the prisoners of Impel Down suffered more casualties. The two sides combined had 60,000 casualties. After all, it is the attacker, which is understandable. Those who can still move are more or less injured. Many bedrooms in various ships have been converted into intensive care units. However, even so, the pirates are still more optimistic. Chapter 84. Lin An becomes famous, Marines' contradictions. Advertise here. Chapter 84. Lin An becomes famous, Marines' contradictions. This is the pride that only winners enjoy. Moreover, they originally went with the momentum that they would rather be broken than broken. It is naturally happier to be able to survive at this time. This is too handsome. The word fight to fame is not an exaggeration to describe Lin An. At this time, the whole world showed admirers of Lin An. After all, Lin An's performance was directly transmitted to the rest of the world through Marine's video phone bug. Destroy Marine Admiral Akainu Sakazuki head on. Destroy the Marine Hero Garp head on. Draw with Marine Marshal, the resourceful General Sengoku. Forcibly snatched back Ace, the offspring of One Piece King Gall D. Roger from Marine. Frontal hard steel Marine 3 Admiral and a dozen elite Vice Admirals siege can still gain the upper hand and escape calmly. These piles, one by one, are enough to make the world crazy. Now it's on one person. How can it not be exciting? Laozi also wants to be such a person. He is so handsome, if you can marry him. No, even if it's just to spend a spring night together, this life is worth it. Do princes and generals care about each other? Marine also has its unfairness, and Laozi also became a pirate at 040. For a while, Lin An has become almost an idol in the whole world. Its influence may not reach the temptation of Roger's big secret treasure for other people. But that is only because Roger, the One Piece King, has the benefit of treasures to overwhelm Lin An. Even at this time, there are Lin An support clubs all over the world to support Lin An. What's more, they went directly to New World by boat just to join Lin An. Indistinctly, Lin An has become a symbol of the times. He is gradually breaking Whitebeard's brand of the previous era and bringing the new era to people. There may have been Garp, Sengoku, Whitebeard, Roger, etc. in the last era. But this era has one and only one representative. That is Lin An. Time passed quietly. 3 days have passed since the Summit War. Somewhere unknown, Sengoku was called to a palace by the people above. What should come still has to come. Looking at the palace, Sengoku took a deep breath. Right now, he is in extremely complicated moods. He is well aware of how much trouble his failure has brought to Marine and the world government. It is also very clear what he will face next. Slowly step into the palace. Skillfully walked from the outside to a place similar to a meeting room. Sengoku, you're here. Sengoku just stepped into the meeting room. A slightly soft and old voice sounded. His tone was rather flat and peaceful. But after reaching Sengoku's ears, he seemed a little terrified. This subordinate is sorry for the cultivation of the 5 officers. Sengoku didn't have time to look at the speaker, so he bent down and apologized. Get up. We know how serious you are. This matter can't be completely blamed on you. From Sengoku's words, it is not difficult to hear that the people in this meeting room are all senior officials of the world government, and their positions are even higher than that of the Marine Marshal. However, his voice was still flat. It seems that Sengoku's defeat was not taken to heart at all. Our 5 old guys are also onlookers. This failure can only be said to be too many accidents. Especially that Lin An, an existence that even we find strange. Thank you, sir, for your understanding. Sengoku slowly raised his head. There are 5 people in front of them. All of them are extremely old, but the energy emanating from their bodies makes people shudder. These 5 old men are all masters. Even a stronger master than Sengoku. Now, how do you feel? An old man with a long beard spoke slowly. It is not difficult to find out from the sound. He was the one who just spoke to Sengoku. Especially that guy named Lin An. Any thoughts? Listen to what the old man said. Sengoku thought for a while before opening Seth again. Do you mean why his devil fruit is not affected by sea stone, or why he can have 2 devil fruit at the same time? Former. The bearded old man spoke directly. The latter is not an impossibility. It's just not known to the public. That's true. Sengoku made some calculations in his mind. One person can indeed have multiple devil fruits. But it takes a little skill. This skill is only in the hands of some D clans and some celestial dragons. According to my subordinate's conjecture, the high probability is related to artificial devil fruit. As that's so, the bearded old man's eyes showed some thought. He is also thinking about this matter. Obviously, he is very interested in this matter. Judging from Lin An's performance in Summit War, if what he is taking is really fake artificial devil fruit, then the ability of this man-made devil fruit is not weaker than the real devil fruit. The only thing that is unclear is whether the man-made devil fruit can reach the stage of fruit awakening. If you can, then the artificial devil fruit is even stronger than the original devil fruit. But, now Lin An's shock fruit and sparkling fruit haven't been fully pronounced yet. After all, they are just the most reasonable guesses, not really sure that Lin An took artificial devil fruit. Okay, I've finished asking what I want to know, and you can leave. Listen to old Whitebeard. Sengoku nodded. These 5 people are the true center of power in this world. Controls the world government, the celestial dragons known as the 5 elders. Good. Hearing 5 elders' words, Sengoku responded and was about to leave directly. It stands to reason. 5 elders are not easy to meet people. The meeting was, in theory, a trial for his defeat in the war. Although Sengoku knows, 5 elders will not kill themselves. However, there must be some punishment. At the very least, also dismissed. Did not expect. The 5 elders didn't blame him at all. In this way, Sengoku also had a smile on his face. Turn around and leave. Crack. The door is opened. When Sengoku stepped out of the conference room with 1 foot, there was a sound behind him. Ah, Sengoku. Sengoku stopped. Turn around and look in the direction of the 5 elders. Sir, tell me something. Marshal Marine, you should step back first. As for who is suitable, you should know better than me. Finished. 5 elders closed their eyes. Our 5 old guys are no longer useful. Don't forget to close the door for us when you leave. Chapter 85. The result of the battle is abdicated, Marine is desolate. Advertise here. Chapter 85. Abandoned by victory, Marine is desolate. Hearing this answer, Sengoku's heart skipped a beat. Although it had been expected, it was unexpected that such a result would come to pass. Think back on your own life. It can be said that I have paid too much for the construction of Marine. Even today's Marine is able to control all sea areas except New World, he is indispensable. But, it is such a credit, but in the end he could not escape the result of being dismissed. Although I can understand the approach of 5 elders. But the sadness that should be there is still there. Yes, Sengoku responded. Then he left the other foot from the meeting room. Hey, squeak. With the sound of closing the door sounded. The door to the conference room also became a door to Sengoku's political career. Sengoku has been completely away from the power core of the world government. Sengoku, has he really been dismissed? Marine Temporary Headquarters, Marine Base, Kobodi Islands. Marineford was completely in ruins under repeated bombardment by Whitebeard and Lin An. It is obviously impossible to live in people. They temporarily placed naval headquarters on the nearest Sabayati archipelago. This move can be said to directly reduce the number of Sabayati archipelago by 30%. The other 30% are pirates resident in Sabayati archipelago, are people from other black and gray industries. As one of the passages for the coding to go to the New World. It is surprising enough that only 30% of them belong to pirates and black and gray industries. At this time inside Sengoku's temporary office, Garp looked at Sengoku with a guilty look on his face. If he can exert his full strength, he will be able to stop Lin An. At that time, Ace and Whitebeard will surely die for Marineford. At that time, the originally set goal was achieved. Even if Marineford is destroyed, Marine prestige will decrease. Sengoku is also unlikely to be implicated. I'm sorry for you. What are you talking about? Sengoku looked at Garp like an idiot. He wouldn't blame Garp for it. And 5 elders clearly had no intention of being angry with him. This dismissal is just a normal job rotation. After all, he has indeed been in the position of Marine Marshal for too long. I just got older and 5 elders took the opportunity to let me down. It's not that I'm being blamed for my incompetence. Besides, I have not resigned from Marine. Even if a new Marine Marshal is elected in a few days, I will still be paid by Marine. The status hasn't changed much, it's just that it has shifted from the bright place to the dark place. That's what it says. But what the hell, how could he Garp not know? Garp, though, is also someone who doesn't like rights. I am quite satisfied with the result of Sengoku. Then I don't care about you. You old boy will have fewer things to do in the future, so don't forget to play with me. How old are you? Still playful. What do you know? It's said that old children and children, if we don't play at this age, why don't we go and play with Lord Yan after we die? Sengoku was directly speechless by Garp's logic. Over the years of the resourceful general, there is only one old guy who can make Sengoku so helpless. Has Marshal Sengoku been dismissed? Inside a room in Marine's temporary headquarters. Marine's 3 Admiral, Akainu, Aokiji and Kizaru are all together. Look at each other. Aokiji had a look of disbelief on his face. Although he thought of this possibility, he didn't expect that the world government would actually do this. After all, Sengoku can be said to be crucial for Marine to have the scale and influence it has today. He who was originally lazy was also a little annoyed at this time. Military career must be rewarded and punished. Isn't this what it should be? Aokiji can be said to be Sengoku's most fancy person, and it is normal for Sengoku to be worthless. But not Akainu. He seems to be omnipotent, but in fact he still has a dead end in his heart. If there is merit, it will be rewarded, and if there is failure, it will be punished. Even a feat like Sengoku should be treated the same. I know what's on your mind. But you should also be clear, what will happen if the world government really doesn't punish Sengoku? Aokiji looked at Akainu. Of course he understands. There is a high probability that it will become a situation where Marines around the world are completely fishing for fish. Surviving such a big defeat is actually not bad. I didn't expect that you would actually comfort people. Consolation. Akainu asked back, looking at Aokiji like a fool. Ask for flowers. No, I'm just telling the truth. Besides, I am bound to win the Marine Marshal selection this time. Nowadays, the pirates are becoming more and more rampant, and even dare to go to Impel Down to make trouble. If you can't be tough on the pirates, who knows what troubles they will make. So you are pursuing the position of Marshal of the Marine. Aokiji looked at Akainu like a fool. You don't know how many points you lost in the Summit War this time, do you? The result of making you Marine Marshal is not the same as the result of Marshal Sengoku continuing to be Marine Marshal. So what? Akainu confronts Aokiji. If it's not me, is it you? At this point, neither Akainu nor Aokiji ruled out Kizaru. 0. Because Kizaru is really not suitable for the position of Marine Marshal. Even if both Akainu and Aokiji were rejected, the world government will only select a suitable person from Marine, and will not choose Kizaru. Only this, both Akainu and Aokiji are sure of. Of course it's me. Look at Akainu. Aokiji frowned. If you say before the Summit War, you can still compete with me. But now, in the entire Marine, only I am the most suitable to be the Marine Marshal. Why? Original. According to Aokiji's character, he is unwilling to take over such troublesome things. But, the existence of Marshal Marine is related to the future of the entire world. No matter how much he doesn't want to. Also, someone like Akainu will never be allowed to become the Marine Marshal. Hehe. Seeing Aokiji's confident look, Akainu smiled. In that case, then we'll see. Talking. Akainu walked out of the room, not intending to continue arguing with Aokiji. Yo-hoo. Moby Dick is better. At this time, nearly a week has passed. According to the physical fitness of people in this world, except for those who are seriously ill, most people have regained their vitality. Let's have fun together. Chapter 86 Survival After the Catastrophe, Baituan's Celebration. Advertise here. Chapter 86 Survival After the Catastrophe, Baituan's Celebration. At this time, the two biggest heroes in this battle. Whitebeard recovered with the help of drugs. Lin An also came to life under Margau's treatment. There are too many people in the Whitebeard Alliance ship group who are in a state of dying due to injuries or even serious injuries. It's been slow going all the time. Until now, half a month later, he is still drifting on the sea. Of course, has also returned to the New World. The 43 pirate groups that followed Whitebeard, their forces, islands, and the elites of the country also dispersed and returned to their respective locations for recuperation. Now there are only more than 1,000 people from the headquarters of the Whitebeard Pirates and more than 1,000 criminals brought back by Lin An from Impel Down. This stop, although it is said that people at the captain's level are fine. But the people below the captain can be said to have suffered a lot of casualties. There are a total of 16 vice captains in each team, and 9 of them have been changed at this time. 477 feels like it's been so peaceful for a long time. Lin An leaned against the side of the boat, feeling the sea breeze blowing, showing a happy expression on his whole body. The main reason why he fell into a coma was that he used too much force. The double loss of physical strength and spirit is too heavy. After half a month of recovery and Margau's drug supplement. At this time, he has almost recovered. Looking at Ace in front of him, Lin An stretched out his hand and slapped him. What are you thinking, bastard? You bastard. Got slapped for no reason. Ace went berserk immediately. Surrounded by endless flames, waves of breathtaking aura emanated from his body. Just like the evaluation given by Lin An before, Ace's strength has indeed risen greatly in this posthumous situation. It has even reached Margau's strength. Fire punch. Read it along with the trick name. A fist made of flames directly met Lin An. Lin An is not to be outdone. Cracks spread out in his hands. The vibration of the shock fruit directly stopped the fire fist and destroyed it. Bang! There was a muffled sound. Lin An's fist collided with Ace's. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Listen to the sound from the system. Lin An smiled slightly. Feeling better. Good. Ace shrugged. He's still remembering what happened during the Summit War. There are too many people sacrificing for themselves. It's just that I'm a little dazed. Ace's tone was full of confusion and confusion. He still doesn't know whether what he did was right or wrong. It's right to be at a loss. Lin An stood up. Life is like this, there is no smooth sailing. What we have to do is to make ourselves as happy as possible. Talking. Lin An directly and seamlessly blended into the party that was going on behind her. Brothers, cheers. Just picked up a glass of beer. Lin An drank it down. Readily. As expected of our instructor. It's just a glass, how about fooling around? Again, I want to see how much you can drink. For a while. Those who persuade to drink, those who serve money. Everyone gathered around Lin An. The purpose is very clear. That is to drink and get down. Lin An. Stop. After drinking 5 or 6 cups in a row. Lin An shouted to stop. What's wrong? Don't dare to drink anymore. Cowardly or scared. Hearing what Lin An said, someone quickly stood up. The meaning is very obvious, that is, I am afraid that Lin An will not want to continue drinking and stimulate Lin An with words, so that Lin An will continue to drink. Am I afraid of you? Lin An's answer was very tough. He glanced around with disdainful eyes. Then drink. A glass of wine was placed directly in front of Lin An. Everyone around looked at Lin An with provocative eyes. Just my words are meaningless. Hearing Lin An's words, Ace's heart skipped a beat. Didn't you see there's another spectator over there? Lin An was talking, pointed his finger in the direction of Ace. Sure enough, Ace rolled his eyes. He just knew it. Captain Ace. Lin An's meaning is very obvious. That is to drag the ace into the water. These pirates are also people who don't think it's a big deal to watch the excitement. He immediately moved to Ace's side. It doesn't matter whether it's big or small, it's directly on Ace's shoulders. He directly handed the wine glass to Ace's mouth. Regardless of whether Ace wants to drink or not, he pours it directly. Drink. Etc. Ace looked helpless. He snatched the wine glass away. With this shout, even the pirates farther away were disturbed. They all looked at Ace with puzzled eyes. I will do it myself. Finished. Ace directly drank the beer in his hand. In this case, how could Ace have the mind to think about anything? Straight into it. Looking at Ace, everyone booed. 1 cup is not enough. Those who participated later said that there would be 3 cups of compensation. 3 cups. Ace directly picked up the barrel and shook it. There are at least 5 glasses of wine in this wine barrel. Today I will let you know how powerful I am. Talking. Ace directly picked up the barrel. He raised his neck and began to drink. Sharp. Powerful. Soon. The booers knocked on everything nearby that could make noise. Under everyone's gaze, Ace directly drank the rest of the wine in the barrel. Throw it away. He threw the empty wine barrel into the sea. There was also a blush on his face. He looked at the Whitebeard Pirates in front of him with some pride. I am a Maramara fruit-capable user. The alcohol got into my stomach and was burned away. If you want to compare your drinking capacity with me, you are no match. Blow it. Soon there were counter-arguments. Look at Ace's already shaky legs. Captain Ace, what do you look like now? I'll count it as 7 cups in your barrel. That's not enough to drink us down. Come up alone. Soon others followed. Captain Ace, don't you know how to drink? Come. Another person directly opened a barrel of wine at 1.9. Quite Hockey walked up to Ace, since Captain Ace is so massive. Then how about we drink it straight out of the barrel? At this time, Lin An, who pulled Ace down in the drinking game, has stayed on the top of the Moby Dick's ship. Sitting cross-legged on the roof of the boat, with your hands on your thighs and your chin resting on your palms, you can watch what's going on below. Drink wine. Get drunk. Doesn't exist. It's not right. Ace, who was fooled and drank another barrel of wine, took advantage of his sanity. Keenly aware of some of the reasons for this matter. Looking around. Where's that bastard Lin An? Chapter 87. Beasts Pirates Invasion. Advertise here. Chapter 87. Beasts Pirates Invasion. On an island of Whitebeard's faction. A fat, bulky man landed on the island. Looking around, an evil smile appeared on his face. The island has good vegetation coverage. Looking in the direction of the island through the coast. The arable land area is also extraordinary. It also has a large number of high-quality mineral veins. Pleasant scenery, abundant resources and abundant arable land make this island one of the few paradises in the New World. It is because of Whitebeard's protection that no one on this island dares to attack them. Safe, rich. This is the island country of the New World, Harvest Island. Harvest Island. The island really lives up to its name. Behind him were hundreds of pirates. Everyone showed excited expressions. A person approached Quinn. Quinn, when are we going to do it? Correct. This person is from one of the 3 major boards of the Beast's Pirates, and he is an absolute powerhouse with the strength of the Deputy Emperor. Plague Quinn. Is this still a question? Quinn glanced around. There was a relieved expression on his face. How can such a beautiful and rich island be suitable for us? 24 inches hey hey hey. Ha 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 ha. Listen to Quinn. Everyone else couldn't help laughing. Everyone has already understood the meaning of Quinn's words. Brothers, let's do it. Soon, someone greeted the people around them, and slowly moved towards the interior of the island. Who are you? Hundreds of people landed on the island. This number of people landed on the island, coupled with their unique wild clothes of Beast's Pirates, it has already attracted the attention of the island guards. A dozen guards carefully came to the edge of the beach with their guns in hand. Protected by Whitebeard for decades, the island has not been invaded by outsiders for a long time. Oh, the one with thin skin and tender flesh. Looking at the vigilant guards, Quinn's men were not afraid at all. With a weapon in hand, he gradually approached the guards. Stop. Bang, 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 bang. Immediately, the guards opened fire and began calling for backup and the Whitebeard Pirates. Come on, babies. But, leaving aside the fact that the Whitebeard Pirates just fought a world-class super war and haven't returned to New World yet. Even if the Whitebeard Pirates are intact, sending troops over now will not be able to dispel the near fire. Quinn's men are all the best of the best. At this moment, they flocked in the direction of Harvest Island as if they were going crazy. The guns of the guards didn't even hit a single person, and they were directly handed over by them. Hundreds of people rushed directly into Harvest Island like bandits. Immediately began the inhumane burning, killing and looting. Ha ha ha, kill. Brothers, there is a nice girl here, come together. For a while, the wind and rain are misty. The entire Harvest Island has been shrouded in blood and fire. This crime continued for 3 days. Only then did Quinn take the people away. In this operation, it is naturally impossible for Quinn to just rob an island. After Quinn left, immediately someone took over the island. He went to the next destination. The same drama played out on a large scale in Whitebeard's sphere of influence. In just half a month, Quinn led Kaido's forces to directly snatch 1/3 of the territory within Whitebeard's sphere of influence. Damn you, another island. The island was ablaze with flames. The residents have accumulated their entire lives, and even the wealth accumulated by a family for several generations has been robbed by Quinn. It doesn't stop there. But Quinn has practiced every conceivable and unexpected crime. Kindness is not in his dictionary. Demon, beast. The residents of the island complained about Quinn's atrocities hoarsely. To this, Quinn didn't even respond, not to mention cursing at this level. Even insults and even beatings have no effect on him. The growth over the years has made him completely sick. Crazy. Shout. The more you are like this, the more excited I am. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. At this time, the forces to which the Beast's Pirates belong have already mobilized countless manpower and material resources. The border between them and the Whitebeard Pirates directly pushed across dozens of islands. Master Kaido. Wanokuni. The location of Kaido. Jack came here worried, and looked at Kaido in front of him respectfully. Lin An's performance in Summit War still echoed in his mind. If you continue to burn, kill and loot Whitebeard's forces, I am afraid that it will directly evolve into a second war. The spies are here to report. The Whitebeard Pirates have returned to New World, and my suggestion is to bring Quinn back. Kaido looked down at Jack suspiciously. This Jack changed a lot after being captured by the company. The previous arrogance has completely disappeared. Instead, he began to learn to think. The 3 Kanbans are Kaido's right-hand man when he is unwilling to do it. When facing them, Kaido will also give more support and tolerance. Although he didn't care about the Whitebeard Pirates, which appeared to be victorious, but had actually been beaten to a half. But still willing to give Jack some opportunities to speak his mind. Tell me what you think. As such that, Jack looked at Kaido. In his expression, he recalled the scene when Lin An captured himself alive, and thought of Lin An's appearance in Summit War. 747. Lin An obviously hides his strength. This could even give Sengoku a headache. If you continue to provoke, you are obviously looking for trouble for yourself. If you retreat now, the wealth you got from the Whitebeard forces is enough. Report to the governor. My thoughts are to retreat. We've got enough interest in the Whitebeard sphere. It's not going to be good for us Beast's Pirates to keep messing with Whitebeard. After all, although the Whitebeard Pirates were disabled, their high-level combat power did not suffer much loss. If it really pushes us and the Whitebeard Pirates to a point where we have to fight, the situation will be against us. Bad for us. Hearing Jack's words, Kaido didn't feel bad. On the contrary, there was an expression of excitement in his eyes. He has been suicide for decades. Lin An's strength coupled with Jack's current performance. It has already made him aware of the possibility. If it is Lin An, it can definitely give him enough surprises. Think here. There was excitement in Kaido's eyes. Can Laozi be afraid of them? Give Laozi the next shot. Chapter 88. Cruel Plague, Destroyed Island. Chapter 88. Cruel Plague, Destroyed Island. To be able to become the overlord of one side, and not inherited, but created by oneself. How could Kaido be an idiot? Of course he knew what it would be like to provoke the Whitebeard Pirates now. But the crux of the problem is that now the Whitebeard Pirates have two top players, Whitebeard and Lin An. He just wanted to try to see if he could weaken the Whitebeard Pirates before they recovered. Otherwise wait until the Whitebeard Pirates have fully recovered. The Whitebeard Pirates consist of Whitebeard and Lin An. Future New World. I'm afraid he's going to be the only one in the Whitebeard Pirates. Not only that, Kaido's warlike heart was ignited again. Looking at Kaido, Jack had a look of worry on his face. Governor. Not much to say. Kaido had a look of seriousness on his face. I understand what you're thinking. I'm going head to head with the Whitebeard Pirates. Notify Quinn, the mission continues. Harvest Island. All members of the Whitebeard Pirates are here. After they received the call for help from Harvest Island, they came here non-stop. However, after half a month, Quinn had already left. Where is the prosperity of the past on the island at this time? It has completely become a ruin. After the Whitebeard Pirates arrived, they were already occupied by Kaido's forces. After some not-so-hard battles, Whitebeard retakes Harvest Isle again. Statistics of casualties and losses. Looking at everything that happened in front of him, Whitebeard's expression remained flat. Of course, he had already thought of this kind of consequences. After all, what he has to face is the entire marine. In New World, only Kaido attacked him as a villain, which is actually considered a good result. Report. Quickly. Those who count losses have returned. His face became extremely distorted. There used to be 12,000 people on the island, but now there are only 7,000 people left. More than 4,000 people were killed by Quinn on the spot, and more than 1,000 people were taken away by Quinn to serve as coolies. 70% of the original arable land on the island was destroyed. 60% of the forest has been burned. All the savings of generations of Harvest Island have been looted. This is completely destroying an island. Annoyance appeared in Whitebeard's eyes when he heard the words of the people below. This has reached the bottom line. Fights between the four emperors are not uncommon. But, as a matter of convention, everyone will guarantee the ecological security of the island. After all, New World's sphere of influence is limited. When one is destroyed, one is completely lost. This is something everyone understands. However, this time Kaido didn't take this unspoken rule to heart at all. This was more than Whitebeard could bear. Original. Because of the Summit War, the power of Whitebeard's forces has been greatly reduced. Even if Kaido robs some territory, Whitebeard will recognize it. But now it seems, Kaido is just too much. It seems that Kaido really wants to take advantage of my weakness to force me to fight him. Whitebeard quickly figured out why. It is obviously impossible to do such a desperate thing just to let this matter end too easily. Kaido's answer can only weaken, or even kill Whitebeard. At this time, Margo stepped up to Whitebeard's side. As the ship doctor of the Whitebeard Pirates, he is well aware of Whitebeard's current physical condition. Although on the surface Whitebeard seems relaxed as usual. But this time, he was stabbed by the big vortex spider, and he was besieged by Kizaru and Akainu. This pain cannot be recovered by simply recuperating for half a month. Whitebeard's current physical condition makes it impossible to fight Kaido. Or forget it. Margao thought for a long time before he came up with this idea. After all, I just experienced the Summit War. Even if I admit to Kaido now, no one will say that Whitebeard is wrong. Moreover, whether it is personnel energy or preparations for war, Whitebeard is nowhere near Kaido these days. If you start a war rashly, even what Marine could not do with all the power in the world, let Kaido steal the chicken. In this case, there will be more losses. Although it is said that Confession is trusting Whitebeard, the people of these islands whose homes were destroyed by Quinn are not friendly. But they must also understand. It is enough for us to negotiate with Kaido and bring back those who are still alive. As for the Lost Islands, they are almost destroyed anyway, so I will give it to Kaido. No, Whitebeard thought for a moment, shaking his head slightly. Kaido would do something like this because he was determined to at least hurt us while we weren't recovering. It is obviously a joke that admitting cowardice can solve the problem. Listen to Whitebeard. Margaret didn't respond. What he wants is more recovery time. He looked at Lin and on the Moby Dick. Whitebeard needs at least half a year of recuperation if he wants to fully recover. But their Whitebeard Pirates now not only have Whitebeard as a four emperors level powerhouse. Moreover, Lin An is just physically exhausted and consumes too much energy. Now Lin An has recovered a lot. Just drag it on for another week or so. Lin An will be able to fully recover. If we go to war with Kaido at that time, it can be regarded as having at least the confidence. Or, negotiate for a period of time first, dragging on for 10 days and a half months. Whitebeard looked at Margo, a look of confusion on his face. Or not. Kaido won't give us time. Speaking of which. Whitebeard thought for a moment. Of course he also knew what Margo was thinking. If Lin An is to deal with Kaido, I don't feel at ease. Even if it is said that Lin An has shown the ability to toughen Sengoku. But in Whitebeard's view, it's still not reassuring. That's good, Zhao's. The third team, the fourth team, the fifth team, and the sixth team are dispatched, and some people from the nearby sea area are called to act as deputy. As for Lin An, he was drawn from the 4th Division and promoted to become the captain of the 17th Division. More than 1,000 prisoners who came out of Impel Down and were willing to follow him became the members of the 17th Division. Lin An and the 4 divisions are divided into the 5th Root Army, and they will spread out to recover the islands that were captured by Quinn. Whitebeard was clearly thinking more than Malcolm. Fight to buy time. Use this to find recovery time. In this way, there is no need to admit cowardice, and because the islands that Quinn has conquered are too scattered, it will take at least a month to fight back. In exchange for a month's time. Yes. Chapter 89 The Furious White Group regains power. Advertise here. Chapter 89. Angry by Tuan, regaining power. Quickly. Whitebeard's task was issued. The 4th team Saki, the 5th team Bista, the 6th team Bramank, the 7th team Lakyo and Lin An went to gather their respective teams. The rest of the Whitebeard Pirates were called together. Whitebeard looked down at the members of the Whitebeard Pirates. He said, "Everyone has seen it, this is what Kaido has done. They took advantage of the time we were away to burn, kill and loot our territory. Them." Whitebeard's words directly ignited the anger of the already angry members of the Whitebeard Pirates. For a while, the flames of battles that were just extinguished in the Summit War rise again. Now, I have appointed Instructor Lin An of the Whitebeard Pirates to officially become the captain of the 17th Division of Whitebeard, and I have fully incorporated the prisoners from Impel Down into the 17th Division. Do you have any objections? Agreed. There were voices of approval one after another. The Whitebeard team has always maintained the number of 100 people. The rest are members of the reserve team. This rule has not been broken by 177 since Whitebeard established the Whitebeard Pirates. Not to mention that there are nearly 1,200 people who are willing to follow Lin An. Even more people than the broken Whitebeard Pirates today. And that's only because there's no one who can make Whitebeard break the rules. The current Lin An is obviously such a person. Good. Seeing everyone's approval, Whitebeard was also relieved. To break the rules is to suffer the consequences of breaking the rules. Fine. These people did not disapprove. This is all thanks to Lin An's performance in Summit War. Enough with the good stuff, let me talk about the bad stuff. Canonization of Lin An is just a small episode. What Whitebeard is really going to do is Kaido. The 4th team is led by Sage, the 5th team is led by Bista, the 6th team is led by Bramank, and the 7th team is led by Lakyo. The 4 squadrons first went to replenish the squadron members, and then summoned local forces to start retaking the island that belonged to us. Lin An is directly leading the new 17th team to conquer Quinn, one of the 3 major signboards of the Beast's pirates. News and orders were quickly passed on to the entire Whitebeard Pirates. Everyone naturally supports and agrees. The 5 appointed by Whitebeard had already left by this time. The fastest traveler among them is Lin An. After all, other people have to go nearby to gather a team, and Lin An himself has more than 1,000 men, and they are all the elite among the elite who came out of Impel Down and survived the Summit War. Team leader. Lin An's ship is a warship. Although Lin An intends to transform it into a ship more like a pirate ship. But because there is no time, it can only be like this. At this time, a person came out from the side. He is a supernova of the previous generation, a zone with the title of Shark, a fish fruit, and Shake, the owner of the fruit ability in the shape of a shark. In terms of strength alone, it is definitely stronger than the current Luffy. There are also armament hockey and observation hockey. Although the cultivation level of the two-color hockey is not high, it has already broken away from the strength of ordinary supernovas. He is also the strongest after the Summit War is over and the others have left. Now Lin An has been promoted to the status of vice captain. Original. He was just a prisoner who was imprisoned in Impel Down and couldn't even get out for the rest of his life, only to suffer on the 5th floor. Now, he has changed suddenly and has become the vice captain of the Whitebeard Pirates. It can be said that it climbed directly from hell to heaven. Looking at Lin An, there was excitement in Shake's eyes, and he took out a chart and laid it out in front of Lin An. There are many traces of sketches on the sea chart, obviously a lot of information has been collected with care. Sharks can point to a red line. The final destination of this line is the only enclosed island. Quinn's information has been found. He should know by now that we're back. Now it has shrunk to the Ghost Island at the junction of the original Whitebeard Pirates and Kaido Pirates. Lin An looked at the chart that Shake handed over and nodded. Okay. Warships are faster than pirate ships. Lin An ran directly to Ghost Island. According to this driving speed, he could reach Ghost Island in about 2 days. The 4th team Saki, the 5th team Bista, the 6th team Bramank, and the 7th team Lakyo have also supplemented the number of teams at this time, and by the way they called some people from the surrounding forces. It is also to increase the respective staffing to about 1,000 people. On the east side, Saki is holding a pair of knives and has begun to recover the island. On the west side, Vista also held 2 knives and began to fight. On the southwest side, Bramank brandished a sledgehammer and already recovered an island. On the southeast side, a meteor hammer swept across Lakyo, and most of the few members of the Beast's pirates on the island had died. Oh no, Wanokuni. The location of Kaido. A spy came to Kaido. His face was full of worry. Governor, the Whitebeard Pirates are fighting back. The spy showed fear on his face, and tremblingly passed the news he knew to Kaido. 4 captains plus Lin An. Although the first team, the second team and the third team, the 3 most elite teams of the Whitebeard Pirates, were not allowed to shoot. But having Lin An here already represents a lot. This is also inevitable. After all, that was the legendary pirate group of immune to death in Marine. And as soon as Whitebeard made a shot, the 4 captains shot. That old fellow Whitebeard is so determined. This result Kaido is also unexpected. Frowning slightly, Kaido pondered for a moment. Where's Quinn now? Master Quinn is now on Ghost Island. Ghost Island. Kaido narrowed his eyes slightly. Ghost Island is just the place. The island has long been a place of contention between the two sides. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is a territorial border issue. Then let him stay here first. As for the other islands, the money and food are all gone anyway. If Whitebeard wants it, let him take it back. Kaido's response was calm. Life is like a spring, let alone an old spring like Whitebeard. If you are weak, it will be strong, and if it is strong, it will be strong. Then I'll be weaker. Yes. The scout was visibly relieved to know that Kaido wasn't going to continue confronting Whitebeard head on. Then the subordinate will report first. Seeing Kaido wave his hand impatiently, the spies withdrew directly. After leaving Kaido's sight, he ran away immediately. Chapter 90. Find Quinn, kill in anger. Advertise here. Chapter 90. Find Quinn, kill in anger. Ghost Island. It was originally a place where there were no two. Or a place where both the Whitebeard Pirates and the Beast's Pirates are vying for it. A place very rich in iron ore. It can be said that there are not many disputes between the two pirate groups here. However, the Whitebeard Pirates and the Beast's Pirates did not really grab this place because both sides have been restraining. Let autonomy be preserved here. Between Whitebeard and Marine's battle. Kaido directly annexed here. Quinn is now sitting here. What are you doing? You played well, why did you let me withdraw? Come. Quinn looked around. He still hasn't figured out why Kaido asked him to withdraw back. Report to Lord Quinn. Soon, someone told him the latest news. As that's so, there was a look of shock on Quinn's face. Shocked for 2 reasons. The first point is that he didn't expect that Whitebeard actually survived the Summit War. The second point is Lin An's strength. Can you even draw with Sengoku, and also hold the pace of the entire Marine? There was an expression of disbelief on Quinn's face. If it wasn't his confidant who was talking to him. Except that Kaido came to talk to him in person. Even if the other 2 people from the 3 major boards came to tell him about this matter, he couldn't believe it. He took the video phone bug handed over by his subordinates. Here is the recorded part of Summit War about Lin An. There is such a powerful force. After reading. Quinn's whole body is not well. Such a person is definitely not something he can handle. He also understood why Kaido asked him to withdraw first. Not good, not good. Just at this time, a person ran in from outside in a panic. What are you panicking about? Did the Marine call, or did the other 4 emperors invade? The iron ore resources of Ghost Island are extremely important resources for any big power. This is an important output place for weapons and armor. That's why, after Kaido annexed it, he didn't intend to give up here, and more than 3,000 people under the Beast's Pirates were stationed here. Even if New World's Marine Division calls, Quinn is not afraid. Yes, it was Lin An who came to kill him. Ah. Hearing this news, Quinn was taken aback. Then there was a sneer on his face. So what? The island's defenses make it impossible for him to land on the island. Moreover, there are more than 3,000 people stationed on the island. Even if Lin An has the strength to shake the strong players of the older generation, it is impossible to get in against this lineup. That's really embarrassing. The slap in the face came so fast. Before Quinn's voice fell, Lin An had already killed him. Moreover, Lin An didn't kill him by himself. More than 100 people followed behind him. As for the other 900 people, it is natural to rob other places on the island. I didn't expect it to be Lin An instructor. Quinn looked at Lin An in front of him. Eyes turn. At this point he already had the intention to retreat. Even the solid island defenses can't stop Lin An. He has no chance of winning. Since Lin An instructor is here, I will leave first. Talking. Quinn was about to leave. His thinking is also very simple. That is to expect Lin An to take into account that the war between the 4 emperors is too dangerous and let himself go. Want to go? At least we should first calculate the enmity between us. Lin An's figure directly turned into dots of golden light. Sparkling fruit starts. People have stood in front of Quinn. More than 100 people behind him also directly raised their hands at this time. Directly block everyone who is here with Quinn. Want to go? It's no longer realistic. Lin An, don't go too far. Looked around. There was a fighting look in Quinn's eyes. At the end of the road. Even if it was an opponent he didn't want to face, he still had to fight. After all, no one wants to die. The mechanical arm of the left hand creaked and creaked at this moment. Clearly ready to fight. Fight me. Lin An looked at Quinn calmly. The energy of shock fruit began to condense in his hand. A series of cracks began to spread along Lin An's fist to the surroundings. Then come on. Talking. The energy of shock fruit has been collected by Lin An. What is in his mind now is the tragedy of Harvest Island. Anger has filled his heart. A vent must be found. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an observation hockey experience. Close black lens bracket. Shock. Break. Ask for flowers. Oh shit. Seeing how Lin An didn't give any chance at all. Quinn cursed. The whole person grows rapidly. Quickly. A huge brachiosaurus appeared in front of Lin An. The huge feet stepped directly on Lin An. But his foot didn't hit anything. How come? There was a look of disbelief in Quinn's eyes. Although his size is huge. But the speed is not slow. It is no exaggeration to say that it is world class. But even at this speed, Lin An still missed. He even lost track of Lin An's location. I'm here. Lin An's voice sounded again. He had already appeared in front of Quinn. Combining sparkling fruit with moonwalk, Lin An even has the ability to teleport. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Pick up the attributes dropped by Quinn. The improvement of these two attributes to Lin An is not low. However, now is not the time to improve your strength. Venting the anger in my heart is the most important thing. Die. Roar. Lin An's fist directly penetrated Quinn's body. A head fell directly to the ground. Quinn is naturally dead and cannot die again. After killing Quinn, the anger in Lin An's heart gradually calmed down. He walked slowly to Quinn's head and picked it up. Shark, send someone to the Beast's Pirates. Wano-kuni. General's mansion. At this time, all the strongmen of Beast's Pirates and Wano-kuni gathered. Among the three major kanbans are Flame Disaster and Drought Disaster. Fei Lubao and 10 numbered persons are all present. Even people including those elite small captains were summoned here. Even Kaido came out of the ground. All the elite members of the entire Beast's Pirates are here. All of them looked at a box in front of them. Kurozumi Orochi, as the general of Wano-kuni, looks unusually reserved in front of Kaido at this time. The things in this box, shouldn't they? Chapter 91 Angry Kaido. Advertise here. Chapter 91 Angry Kaido. Kurozumi swallowed his saliva and looked around. All the familiar people were nearby, but there was only one person missing. Governor, this is from Lin An. Jack looked at the box, almost unable to suppress his anger. Compared to the Wano-kuni side, the Beast's Pirates knew exactly what was inside. Jack still has a lot of respect for the predecessors of the Beast's Pirates. At this moment, Quinn was dead. Even, the head was cut off by Lin An and sent to the Beast's Pirates. The humiliation. It is absolutely unacceptable to anyone. Bang. Jack punched the table directly in front of him. The burgundy lacquer surface collapsed directly, and the wood inside also shattered. The wooden box also tumbled and fell at this moment. The head of Quinn, who was dying inside, was exposed. It's really Quinn. 860. Kurozumi's pupils suddenly narrowed. After the surprised voice came out, he quickly lowered his voice. Even the body moved back a little. This kind of situation is definitely not something that he can mix blindly. Compared to Kurozumi Orochi's cautiousness, others in Beast's Pirates are dominated by anger. Flame, Jin, and Drought. Jack's anger was almost unstoppable. Flying 6 cells and 6 people are similar. What do you think of this matter? Compared with the people in the pirate group, Kaido is much calmer. There was no anger on his face. I don't know if it's because I didn't drink, but I was a little more wise. Revenge. The first one to speak was naturally Jack. There is one and only one answer in his mind. Beast's Pirates are built on strength. But it's not completely like this, there is still some kind of companionship. For Jack, both Jin and Quinn are his big brothers and the ones who led him. Now, Quinn died in front of him like this. Even the head was chopped off and sent to humiliate him. If this can be tolerated, then he is not Jack. Revenge is a must. Kaido nodded. His eyes turned to Jack. Originally, the thinking that Jack showed before made him very gratified. But it still doesn't work. As soon as something happened, he returned to his irritable nature. It seems. His idea of cultivating a successor the way Whitebeard did seems to be doomed now. But the opponent is Whitebeard after all, and the way to get revenge is not to think about it. Said, Kaido looked away from Jack. What do other people think? I thought the same way. Jin spoke at this moment. He's better than Jack, but not too strong. At most, he was able to hold back his anger. There are not many people in the entire Beast's Pirates who can talk to him. This Quinn is one of them. Although it is said that there is also a competitive relationship between the three major kanbans. But it's like Jack has companionship for Quinn and himself. He also has feelings for his fellow pirates. Now Quinn is dead like this. How can he accept it? The Whitebeard Pirates are extremely weak right now. The reason for killing Quinn so vigorously is obviously because he wants to use force quickly to force us to submit. This expresses the weakness of the Whitebeard Pirates even more. My suggestion is to directly attack the whole army and go to war with the Whitebeard Pirates directly. Jin's words stunned everyone. Everyone looked at Jin in disbelief. It seems that he didn't expect that this proposal came from Zaw's mouth. Jin's status in Beast's Pirates is very high. It is not an exaggeration to say that he is the deputy captain of Beast's Pirates. Except for the other two of the three disasters on the three major Kanban boards. Even Fei Lubao has to obey him. This is not only because of Jin's strength, but also because of his extremely clear mind. Since Jin has said so, I also agree with an all-out war. At this time, a person spoke. Follow the sound. It turned out to be Drake who joined the 6 flying cells last. Jin said very clearly, and I think so too. The Whitebeard Pirates are at their weakest at this time, and we are directly bordering the Whitebeard Pirates. Once the Whitebeard Pirates recover, they will be able to attract a large number of forces again by virtue of their reputation during the Summit War. When the time comes, won't it be us who are unlucky? Drake looked past everyone and looked directly in Kaido's direction. Even without the matter of Quinn, I still plan to propose a full-scale war with the Whitebeard Pirates. I also feel like going to war with the Whitebeard Pirates. Black Maria spoke. His face was full of anger. I didn't think about it that much. But everyone else came to our door to humiliate us, and we just ignored it like a fool, so what will other people in this new world think of us in the future? I also agree to an all-out war. Sasaki also spoke at this time. Quickly, the sound of all-out war has become mainstream under the efforts of Jin and Jack. There is anger about Quinn's death. It also contains the annoyance of being humiliated to the head. The other two on the 3 major boards, Fei Lubao, and 10 numbered persons. Nearly everyone in the Beast's Pirates supports an all-out war with the Whitebeard Pirates. All-out war. Make sure that old Whitebeard sees how powerful we are. Isn't it just escaping from the marine siege? It's not that you won the battle. What's so crazy about it? For a while, the entire room is full of indictments against the Whitebeard Pirates. This time, Whitebeard did go too far. I'm determined to go all out with Whitebeard. Wait for a while for the sound to subside. Kaido's voice sounded again. Unlike other people's anger, even now, even the announcement of an all-out war with Whitebeard has been extremely flat. Although it's easy to say. But Kaido also understands. This 2.7 thing is not that simple. It's not that he is not angry, but he has been forbearing. The last time Jack was captured alive, this time Quinn was killed, this is something that Kaido will face the whole world laughing at. But he also understands that even the weakened Whitebeard Pirates are not easy to deal with. He had to calm down if he wanted Whitebeard to pay for his recklessness. As the coach, he can't be messed up. Look around. Kaido spoke again. Now, everyone go back and mobilize troops. Including all the forces that my power can cover, the islands, and the country's elite are all transferred. This time, I'm going to make Whitebeard pay the price. Chapter 92. Declaration of War, War of the 4 Emperors. Chapter 92 Declaration of War, War of the 4 Emperors. Ghost Island. Almost all members of the Whitebeard Pirates were present. Whitebeard, Lin An, the captain of the 16 teams. There are even Crocodile and Jinbei. Here you go. At this time, all the islands captured by the Beast's Pirates were completely taken back by the 4th Team Sage, the 5th Team Beasta, the 6th Team Ramank, the 7th Team Rakyo and Lin An. In addition, Ghost Island, which has been in dispute for a long time, was included in the bag. Whitebeard's side has at least expanded its sphere of influence again. Looking at the people below, Whitebeard had a look of appreciation on his face. This mission itself is somewhat risky. After all, the Whitebeard Pirates have just experienced the Summit War, and their overall strength will be weakened a lot. What I didn't expect was that Kaido didn't mean to make a fixed income. As for Lin and killing Quinn, Whitebeard didn't take it seriously. Since he, Kaido, took advantage of this despicable thing, he should pay for it. Report. Just at this time, an orderly came in hastily from outside. The Kaido pirates are here. Kaido. They still have the face to come. 24. Everyone in the Whitebeard Pirates was excited. This is especially true for people like Sak and Beasta who have seen the destroyed islands. Beast's Pirates are no exaggeration to say that they are beasts. It not only implemented the 3-all strategy of killing, robbing, and burning. Even the people of the islands in the occupied places were treated as slaves. Kaido has occupied 23 islands that Whitebeard sheltered, a total of nearly 1 million people have been displaced because of Kaido, and tens of thousands of people have been killed or persecuted. Don't be angry, everyone. Seeing the almost uncontrollable atmosphere below, Whitebeard hastened to mediate. The most important thing right now is not to lose your footing. Let him in. The herald got Whitebeard's promise and hurriedly nodded. Soon, a man in the signature Beast's Pirates garb strides in. Eyes look around. I didn't panic at all because I was in the Whitebeard pirate group, and even had to face Whitebeard and Lin An, two 4 Emperors level powerhouses. He unhurriedly took out a document, without giving the people around him any chance to ask or speak, and read it on his own. The new world is changing. There is me, Kaido of the Beasts, Red Hair, Shanks, Auntie, Sherlock Linlin, Whitebeard, Edward Newgate became the absolute king of this world, and was called the New World 4 Emperors by others in the world, however. After a bunch of irrelevant nonsense, the person finally got to the point. Today, the Beasts Pirates Whitebeard Pirates declared war. We will bring absolute security to the islands, forces, and national security oppressed by Whitebeard. What? Are you kidding me? Listening to Kaido's declaration of war, everyone felt that Kaido was crazy at this moment. I can understand the declaration of war. Can you explain what is meant by the islands, forces and countries oppressed by Whitebeard? Fart. You guys Beasts Pirates are acting in a safe way. What the hell am I? For a while, all members of the Whitebeard Pirates were excited. They immediately surrounded Kaido's emissary. How? Kaido's messengers are not afraid either. Instead, he straightened his back. You want to kill me? Come on, come on. As he spoke, the Kaido messenger stretched out his head, exposing his neck. Cut it here, and it will be solved with one knife. If you don't kill me today, it means that everyone in the Whitebeard Pirates is a coward. Grandma, Laozi will kill you today. Although the Whitebeard Pirates are well behaved. But they are still pirates after all, how could they be so angry? Immediately someone rushed up. Stop. To this. Whitebeard called a stop directly. Looking at the extremely arrogant Kaido messenger, he spoke indifferently. If the two armies are fighting, if you don't kill the envoy, let him go. With Whitebeard, other people can only look at the Kaido envoy viciously. Cut. A bunch of cowards. The Kaido envoy is still extremely arrogant. The declaration of war has been handed over to you, Laozi will leave first. Talking. The Kaido messenger turned around and was about to leave. Seeing his quick steps, it is obvious that deep down in his heart he is not as arrogant and calm as he appears on the surface. Boom. Sudden. A burst of coercion directly enveloped the Kaido envoy. The huge, even suffocating conqueror's haki made the Kaido envoy directly kneel on the ground without his own intention. What happened? The Kaido envoy looked at himself kneeling on the ground with a bewildered expression on his face. At this time, another wave of conqueror's haki strikes. Different from the previous domineering ones, this conqueror's haki is sharper and more murderous. A series of conqueror's haki shrouded this Kaido envoy with supernova-level power directly lying on the ground. Why don't you leave? At this time, Lin An's voice appeared. Walk slowly to the side of the Kaido envoy. Looking at the Kaido messenger with a little dissatisfaction. We don't provide food here. Laozi wants to leave too. The Kaido envoy tried hard to move his body, but there was no way. At this moment, his 263 body seemed to be glued to the ground. The moment Lin An came to him, he also understood that it was Lin An in front of him who got him into this situation. Abba. The Kaido messenger opened his mouth to complain. But when the words came to his lips, no sound came out. Kaido envoys can be very sure that there is absolutely no damage to their vocal cords. But now there is no sound. An unknown and mysterious sense of fear surged through his body in an instant. The look in Lin An's eyes also gradually changed from arrogance and domineering to fear. Hee. At this time, Lin An withdrew Conqueror's haki. He said calmly. Although the envoy said that in the hands of both sides of the war, theoretically, he would not die. But it doesn't mean he can be intact. You. The Kaido messenger stood up. Just when I was about to get angry, I saw Lin An's eyes again. The sense of fear that seemed to be hidden in the depths of his heart came to his heart again. He couldn't care about anything else at this time. Turn around and run. Wait a moment. The Kaido envoy could only stop and look at Lin An with a puzzled expression. Go back and tell Kaido. We, the Whitebeard Pirates, have never been afraid of anyone. The Kaido messenger nodded, and then quickly jumped to the senses. Within 3 seconds, the person had already left the temporary room. Chapter 93 The world is looking sideways, is there another war? Advertise here. Chapter 93 The world is looking sideways, is there going to be war again? The 4 emperors declare war. And the news of the declaration of war between Kaido and Whitebeard, who are still the strongest, is naturally unstoppable. Moreover, neither Kaido nor Whitebeard had any intention of suppressing the news, as if they wanted a life and death war. In this way, the news naturally spread to all parts of the world at high speed. Sensation. Total sensation. Anyone with some power in the world feels that the world is crazy, completely beyond their expectations. Sabayati Archipelago Marine Temporary Headquarters. What do you think of this matter? Sengoku put Kaido and Whitebeard's battle of the 4 emperors on the table. Marine is messy enough. Because of the failure of the Summit War, most of Marine's prestige was wiped out in a short period of time. There are people or forces against Marine all over the world. Coupled with the fact that Marine still has to select a new marshal, it can be said that Marine is busy all the time. Even if another Shichibukai is overthrown, they don't intend to pay attention to it. However, it's such a desperate time. Kaido and Whitebeard actually declare war. The impact of the Battle of Four Emperors is not even weaker than the impact of the Summit War on the world. Even today's Marine has to find time to discuss countermeasures. It's all pirates anyway, let them fight. Akainu acted very relaxed. He doesn't think much of Kaido and Whitebeard's war. They are all pirates. It is a good thing for Marine to let them eat dogs and consume themselves internally. If it was before the Summit War, this might be a good opportunity for our Marine to enter New World. Aokiji also gave his own judgment. For this matter, Marine really has nothing to do. New World is under the management of four emperors. Although the world government has a branch there, the scope of its influence is limited. Marine's original plan was to kill Whitebeard in the Summit War, and then use this as an opportunity to expand his influence in the New World. But now it seems, Marine has run out of energy. Just wait and see. The discussions went nowhere. Sengoku can only be helpless. Think for a while. Sengoku gave instructions. Let Momoshiki lead people into New World to observe the wind direction of New World, and the others will temporarily restore the Grand Line and the safety of the four seas. The red-haired pirate ship. An unexpected guest came on board at this time. It is the world's #1 swordsman, Eagle Eye, Mihawk. The redhead looked at Mihawk, with his hands on his waist ready to move. Are you here to fight? No. Mihawk is still cold and arrogant. There was no emotion in his eyes. Originally, he and Shanks were a good match. But after Shanks lost an arm, he didn't compete with Shanks for a long time. That's not to say he's better overall than Shanks. It's that Shanks is no longer enough to threaten and oppress him in terms of swordsmanship. What do you think about Kaido declaring war on Whitebeard? Listening to Mihawk's words, Shanks had a disappointed look on his face. Don't tell me you came to me just for this. Of course not. Mihawk thought for a moment. His mind goes to Luffy's performance at Summit War. Although it is so childish that it makes people feel ridiculous. But it is not an exaggeration to say that the growth rate is terrifying compared to when we first met. I saw your so-called future. Very nice. IWC. Big Mom Pirates. Tisk tisk. I don't feel like I have any appetite lately. Ant rubbed her belly. Surprising or unbelievable. The ant didn't even eat at this time. This is almost completely unimaginable for a person with bulimia. Mother. Below, the candy minister looked at Big Mom. There was cold sweat on his forehead. Kaido and Whitebeard have declared war. It's as if he meant to wrestle Whitebeard to death. F*K. Just by Kaido himself. Listening to the candy minister's words, the ant showed disdain. At this time, she finally picked up the cake on the side, but she put it down after taking a bite. Don't I know him yet? It's just that I'm afraid that the old fellow Newgate will develop too fast and want to curb it. You really thought the war between the four emperors was that easy? The ant said verbally that she didn't believe it. But it's not hard to see from her performance. The ant is embarrassed, uncertain how this matter will develop. So, the candy minister cautiously tested the ant. What are we going to do? My ant didn't think about this problem. He frowned and thought for a while. Wait and see what happens. Quote. By the way, let Katakuri take people to watch. Remember, it's just to watch and collect information. You can't get involved when you go, you understand? Understood. Minister Candy nodded immediately. Dressrosa. Doflamingo sits on the throne. Below that lies most of his Don Quixote family. The sea is really a wonderful place. Drinking red wine. Doflamingo had his trademark grin on his lips. If Kaido chooses to go to war with Whitebeard, who is the happiest and most worried? It is not Marine, nor is it the islands and sea areas affected by the forces of Kaido and Whitebeard. But him. Happily, Kaido spends as much money as possible to buy man-made devil fruit here in Doflamingo. The worry is if Kaido is defeated. Then his man-made devil fruit business may not be able to keep. No shelter from Kaido. Even if Doflamingo still has the identity of this Shichibukai, it can't stop many forces in the New World from spying on Nuo Hao, his artificial devil fruit. Although he is not weak. But if you put it in New World, it really wouldn't be enough without the protection of the four emperors. So, are we going to help Kaido? Help. Hearing the words of his subordinates, Doflamingo seemed to hear the most ridiculous joke in the world. The battle between the four emperors, do you really think we can help them much? So, how do we pay it back? Stand by and watch. Or do you want to call Big Mom or Shanks? Man-made devil fruit is not a small project. With this production line, you can quickly improve the overall strength of your forces in a short period of time. No force in this world will refuse to cooperate with Doflamingo. However, Kaido has always been there before. Others are afraid to look for Doflamingo. Doflamingo thought for a while. No, not for now. Chapter 94 Confrontation, the Emperor of the New World. Advertise here. Chapter 94 Confrontation, the Emperor of the New World. Send all the latest batch of man-made devil fruit to Kaido. For free. It's an investment. Listening to Doflamingo's words, other people showed puzzled expressions on their faces. The cost of man-made devil fruit is not low. And the yield rate is extremely poor. Each one will cost nearly 30 million Baileys to succeed. The agreement with Kaido is also that Kaido will spend money to buy Just giving it to Kaido for nothing like this is simply a thankless thing. I know what you're thinking. Looking around, Doflamingo laughed. Don't doubt it, you just need to know that the behavior of this big guy is not a loss. All parts of the world are bustling again at this time. Seagulls who sell newspapers don't have to fly very far before the newspapers are sold out. This time, without Marine's deep pockets and sphere of influence, it would have been impossible to implement a simultaneous live broadcast around the world. Powerful people can only send people in New World to investigate things. For a while, the New World is once again turbulent. Even the two unrelated four emperors, Red Hair Pirates and Big Mom Pirates, were involved. Although reluctant, but for the order of 390 New World, he still served as a New World policeman. A week later, the sea area where the battle site is located. Indistinctly, there are many ships floating around. Every ship has a different flag. Even the types of ships vary. Coming. At this time, I don't know who yelled. Look in the direction his finger is pointing. Countless ships appeared on the horizon. The mighty, invisible boats seemed to cover the entire surface of the sea. Under the breakdown, there are nearly 500 ships. Kaido stood on the main ship with a jar of wine beside him. Behind him on the left and right sides are two big kanbans followed by Jack and Jin. Then came the flying 6 cells, and then the numberers. Kaido really gave it his all this time. Directly mobilized all forces, islands and countries that Kaido can affect. In the case of doing the best, Kaido has gathered more than 50,000 people. Even more people than Marine gathered during the Summit War. It doesn't stop there. Kaido also spent a lot of money to attract many independent pirate groups and masters. The lineup is luxurious. It even gave birth to the illusion that Kaido is going to attack naval headquarters. Hiss. See Kaido's posture. Everyone is terrified. It wasn't until this time that they realized that Kaido was really not joking. He really wanted to go all out with Whitebeard. Immediately, all the forces began to report the situation to their respective chiefs. For a while, the voice of the phone bug came and went. All parties can't care about hiding information in themselves, intelligence is a second of gold. There must be no sloppy and slow. Whitebeard's side is coming too. The other side of the sea. Similar to Kaido, there are also nearly 500 ships sailing from the horizon. Moby Dick aboard. Whitebeard stood at the bow of the boat holding the Qinglong crescent knife. This look is exactly the same as during the Summit War. It's just that, compared to that time, Whitebeard still has a bottle and potion hanging on his body at this time. Behind him are Margao and Lin An on the left and right. Behind are the rest of the captains. To deal with Kaido. This time Whitebeard also gathered all the forces under his command, the island and the country. Because there is no need to go out of the New World, the number of people gathered this time is several times higher than that in the Summit War. Although it did not reach Kaido's more than 50,000 people. But there are also more than 30,000 people. Since we are going to fight. Then you have to play beautifully. Hit to win. Pity. Seeing the posture of Whitebeard's side, especially Whitebeard's appearance, someone quickly made a judgment. Whitebeard obviously hasn't recovered, CEAC, and because of the Summit War just now, the power of Whitebeard's side has weakened a lot, and the number of people gathered is much smaller than that of Kaido. In this battle, Whitebeard is afraid to suffer. This idea almost represents the idea of everyone who came here. Whitebeard is strong. But Kaido will not be too weak. Plus Whitebeard still hasn't recovered from his Summit War injury. The top combat power is weaker than the opponent. The number of people below is far less than the other party. Whitebeard's side is indeed more likely to lose. Kaido. Facing each other across the sea. Whitebeard spoke. The sound passed through the Conqueror's hockey directly across the tens of nautical miles to Kaido's ears. Be safe. As soon as I opened my mouth, it turned out to be just a routine. This is what other people did not expect. Kaido was not too surprised. Also mixed Conqueror's hockey into the voice. I've fought you countless times over the years. There are losers and there are winners. Of course, there are far more losses than wins. Kaido doesn't mind being known to be inferior to Whitebeard. In the eyes of top powerhouses like them, only the battle of life and death is the main thing. Everything else can be ignored for now. I have a hunch that this time I must win. Hoo la 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 la. Whitebeard's signature laugh echoed over the sea again. You're thinking too much about this. You've been trying to beat me since you were on the rocks. But what happened? Aren't you still overwhelmed by me until now? Where does Whitebeard and Kaido mean to be at war? At this time, although the two sides have some meaning of mocking each other in their words. But it also stops there. Generally speaking, not only did there not mean any war, but some of the two old men were even nostalgic for the way they used to be. Isn't it? Using Conqueror's hockey as an amplifier. Isn't that too extravagant? The people watching around are completely different. Watch Kaido and Whitebeard. Everyone is dumbfounded. That's Conqueror's hockey. Only 1 million people can have a super rare ability that can be awakened by one person. Such an ability that is so in demand, and that countless people look forward to and envy, turns out to be just a megaphone in the hands of Kaido and Whitebeard. Crazy. Too crazy. Is this the battle between the four emperors? Although Summit War is also very thrilling, although there is also a competition of hard power. But that's more about the competition of resourcefulness between the two sides, and the competition of hard power is not that important. If you simply look at the confrontation of combat power, it is obviously not as direct as the current Whitebeard and Kaido. The fleets of both sides gradually approached at this moment. Quickly, it stopped in front of an uninhabited island. Kaido flies straight to the island. Newgate. Chapter 95 The Boss Battle, Kaido vs Whitebeard. Advertise here. Chapter 95 Boss Battle, Kaido vs Whitebeard. The breath of Kaido's whole body rushed forward directly. Looking in Whitebeard's direction with the Lang Yabang in his hand, let's fight. During the conversation, Kaido's whole body suddenly changed. The entire body has undergone earth-shaking changes. There are faint scales on the body. Facing Whitebeard, even Whitebeard Kaido, who was seriously injured, did not dare to be careless. He directly used his strongest form. Zone Devil Fruit's awakened form, Human Beast form. Good. There was also a flash of fighting intent in Whitebeard's eyes. Stretch out your hand. He immediately tore off the potion and the hanging bottle on his body. It flew out with a little tiptoe, landed on the island and stood opposite Kaido. The ability of Shock Fruit is directly condensed on the Qinglong Yanyu knife in his hand. Cracks spread rapidly towards the surroundings. Die. It's all about going all out. Whitebeard held the Qinglong Yanyu Dao in both hands, and directly slashed at Kaido. The Shock Fruit energy on the tip of the Qinglong Crescent knife spread out in all directions. A series of cracks spread towards the surroundings. It looked like it was about to tear everything around it to shreds. Well done. The mace in Kaido's hand directly gathered his Conqueror's Haki at this time. Exactly the highest use of Conqueror's Haki, Conqueror's Tangle. This Conqueror's Winding can directly increase the power and energy of the moves. Kaido is not afraid of Whitebeard's Shock Fruit, and directly greets him with a mace. Boom. The mace and the Qinglong Yanyu knife collided directly. The energy of the Shock Fruit with white light and black cracks and the Conqueror's Haki with red light and some light complement each other at this time. Waves of destructive energy spread around Kaido and Whitebeard. For a while, flying sand and walking stones. Even, the island at the foot of Dao and Whitebeard is a little busy at this time. Bang. There was another explosion. Kaido and Whitebeard separate. Kaido took 3 steps back and Whitebeard took 7. Neither side seems to be getting any bargains. But Whitebeard's mouth was dripping with blood. Looking at Whitebeard in front of him, Kaido said again, it seems. I still haven't healed much from my injuries from the Summit War. Hee. Whitebeard sneered, and didn't reply. The injuries he got in Summit War have already hurt his internal organs. It is basically impossible to recover without half a year of recovery. It is impossible for Kaido not to know. Now that Kaido has brought it up on purpose, it is obvious that he wants to disgust him on purpose. Master Kaido is invincible. At this time, Beast's pirates did not know who yelled. The next thing is to overwhelm the sky and cover the sky, cheering and cheering like a tsunami. Master Kaido is invincible. What is Whitebeard? Just a mutilated old man. What do you mean by that? Hearing the voices of the pirates from the Beast's pirates, the Whitebeard pirates were naturally unhappy. We just finished the Summit War, and you all know about Dad's injury, how dare you be happy about it? Why are you sorry? The Whitebeard pirates' accusation doesn't work at all. Instead, it made the Beast's pirates even more mocking. Then all of you will be like turtles, let's fight. Since you've accepted the challenge, everything you say is just an excuse. The Whitebeard pirates almost went mad. However, because what the Beast's pirates said made sense, there was no good way to refute it. Despicable and shameless. We're really mean and shameless. So if you are above board, then don't make excuses. As the saying goes, people are shameless and invincible. The current performance of the Beast's pirates fully proves the correctness of this sentence. The taunts and taunts from the Whitebeard pirates were picked up by them. As long as you don't care, it's useless. This sentence is a truth at the level of heaven. The people below seem to be very happy. Compared with the Beast's pirates and Whitebeard pirates who are fighting with each other. Kaido and Whitebeard on the island are much more dull. Kaido holds a mace in his hand. The orange flame was mobilized by him at this moment. The strong temperature of the flames even made the soil under the ground burn. Look at Whitebeard. Kaido's eyes were full of fighting spirit. He does like fighting. For this reason, he committed suicide countless times. But, who wants to lose if they can win? This is the truth. Newgate. Hopefully after today you'll be able to meet Roger and the others. Talking. Kaido walked in the direction of Whitebeard. The flames directly burned a passage where he passed. Both rock and soil were burned to magma by this intense flame. Hoo la 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 la. The iconic laugh escaped Whitebeard again. The strongest armament Haki protection emerged from Whitebeard's body. The energy of Shock Fruit was completely mobilized at this moment. Waves of vibrating energy quickly gathered on the Qinglong Yanyu knife. Armament Haki is used to defend against Kaido's attacks. Point 0. Shock Fruit is used to attack. This is Whitebeard in his strongest form. Bang. There was a loud bang. The entire island was completely torn apart at this moment. Kaido and Whitebeard just clashed 2 moves and destroyed an island. Fine. This is an uninhabited island. It's not even an island, it's just a reef out of the sea. Ace, did you see that? Moby Dick aboard. Lin An looked at Kaido with a look of surprise on his face. He had never seen a person practice Zone's devil fruit to this extent. Even if it is a phantom beast, it is too perverted. Ace looked at Lin An, his eyes full of doubts. What do you see? Of course it's Kaido's use of fire. Lin An said with a bit of hatred. Although Kaido is the ability user of Zone Devil Fruit. But this does not prevent you from learning the use of flames from him. At this time, Lin An thought of the records on the Devil Fruit illustrated book. Lava fruit is a higher ranked fruit of Mara fruit. Anne scoffed at this. Both physics and thermals say it all. The temperature of the flame can definitely surpass the temperature of the magma. And it's not a few or 10 degrees of transcendence. Instead, the temperature difference is tens, hundreds, or even 1,000 times. Fire is more than just burning. There are more possibilities. As long as you want, you can burn everything in this world. Chapter 96 Beasts Pirates vs Whitebeard Pirates. Advertise here. Chapter 96 Beasts Pirates vs Whitebeard Pirates. Listen to what Lin An said. Ace looked at Kaido's body again. Especially the flames around Kaido's body are thoughtful. At this time, Ace also understood the gap in his own strength. After seeing that Kaido's fire is even capable of igniting and melting rocks and soil. There was an excited expression in his eyes. Is it a hotter flame? Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience, close black lens bracket. Listen to the sound of the system. Seeing Ace's pensive look, Lin An smiled slightly. I don't plan to bother with it anymore. At this time. He took this devil fruit experience directly into shock fruit. For a moment, Lin An seems to have undergone earth-shaking changes. The whole body seemed to be shaking at this moment. Wrong. Not at this time. 443. Instead, it vibrates every moment. This is a matter of course. Whether it is a living thing or a dead thing, there is vibration in itself. A breath, or even the mere flow of blood, has its vibrations. Breakthrough. Aware of changes in oneself. Lin An took a deep breath, and the corner of his mouth curled up. He enlightened Ace in addition to reminding friends. The same is also the reason why shock fruit was so short of reaching the awakened state. This moment, he achieves the awakened state of shock fruit. That is the state of resonance. He can use this state to avoid most direct attacks. Resonance is a very wonderful state. It can communicate with each other at a certain frequency, whether it is a living thing or a dead thing. Of course, this communication is not just talking in the simple sense. Instead, it reaches the same frequency band as it. Reaching the same frequency band as the other party means that Lin An can remotely control the other party, and even kill the enemy invisible. Something like breaking glass with sound. The words of Lin An's strength and ability. There is much more that can be done. Is this the fruit awakening? Spreading his hands, Lin An nodded in satisfaction as he watched the changes in his body. It really is a transformation. Come on. Time passed bit by bit. The scolding battle between the Kaido pirates and the Whitebeard pirates gradually calmed down as the stalemate in the battle between Kaido and Whitebeard. Whitebeard is indeed inferior to Kaido due to injuries. But Whitebeard is not a vegetarian as the strongest man in the sea. At most, it is suppressed by Kaido. Superior. At this time. Under the command of Jin of the Beasts Pirates and Margo of the Whitebeard Pirates. The two sides collided directly. Marco and Joe stepped forward, while Jin and Jack stopped him. Next up are the captains of the Whitebeard Pirates. On Kaido's side, there are flying 6 cells and number 1s to fight against the enemy. For a while, the Whitebeard Pirates and the Kaido Pirates have collided. Ha ha ha, happy. On Whitebeard's side, Jinbei and Crocodile also joined in. Except for these powerhouses, more than 50,000 people from the Kaido Pirate Group and more than 30,000 people from the Whitebeard Pirate Group also started their respective battles. For a while, there are boarding battles. There are those who attack with shells from a distance. Nearly 100,000 people from both sides and more than 1,000 ships fought directly together. I didn't expect that 4 emperors would have such strength in New World. In the distance, a figure appeared. It was an unremarkable boat with only 3 people on board. But these 3 people on board were remarkable. It's Marine Admiral Sengoku, Marine Hero, Garp and Admiral's alternate Momosuke Vice Admiral. A large-scale war involving nearly 100,000 people. And it's not just to make up the number. This level of war is not easy even for the world government to gather together. Sengoku looked at the sea of war with a serious expression on his face. He found that even though he had been sending people to monitor New World, he still didn't know much about New World. Especially the strength of 4 emperors was seriously underestimated by him. Fine. There was a relaxed expression in his eyes. At this time, the war between Kaido and Whitebeard gave him some opportunities to understand the New World. Report back to the temporary headquarters and let Akainu and Aokiji know the situation of New World first. Momosuke, as Admiral's candidate, can be said to be the top of the entire Marine, nodded like a secretary at this time. Start passing information directly. In another part of the ocean, there are more or less ships from different forces in the surrounding sea area. Although I don't want this kind of thing to happen, but because there are too many forces, if we fight, we may not be able to take advantage of it, so we can only bear with it. However, under such circumstances, there was only one ship nearby. There is no other reason. The owner of this ship is no one else. She is also one of the emperors of this new world, Sherlock Lin An, who is called Big Mom. The reason why she can monopolize this sea area is that she directly drove away other ships. Big Mom is eating a huge cake, looking in disbelief in the direction of Kaido and Whitebeard. She wasn't surprised by the strength of Kaido and Whitebeard. Although she is worse than Whitebeard and Kaido, she is still in the middle. What really surprised her was that Kaido and Whitebeard were really hard steel. Say war is war. The two sides mobilized nearly 100,000 fighters. In terms of logistical supplies, I am afraid that there will be more than hundreds of thousands of personnel. Such a huge battle. It is already the strongest war in the New World. What kind of medicine are these two guys selling in the gourd? In Ant's view, there are no wars without cause. Even if Whitebeard and Kaido have always had animosity, it is unlikely that there will be a full-scale war. Such internal friction will only make the world government happy. If New World is also being targeted by the world government because of this, then don't blame me for being rude to you. Another 2.7 of the ocean. A ship is sailing slowly. It didn't drive away the other ships as roughly as Big Mom did. However, the other ships obediently stayed at least 5 nautical miles away from this ship. Mahawk, are you guys really not going to fight me? You can guess who this guy is just by hearing the voice. Correct. The last of the 4 current emperors of the New World. And the youngest sea emperor, red hair, Shanks. Shanks saw the battle between Kaido and Whitebeard, and the desire to fight rose in his heart. He aimed directly at Mahawk, who was following the boat. Or are you afraid? If you're really scared, I won't force you. Just inform the world directly and let me be the #1 swordsman in the world. Chapter 97. Kaido's ultimate move, man-made Devil Fruit Legion. Chapter 97. Kaido's ultimate move, artificial Devil Fruit Legion. Shanks was inspired by Kaido and Whitebeard's war mobilization. But, such a simple aggressive method has no effect on Mahawk. Holding a beer in one hand, the eyes are looking in the direction of Whitebeard and Kaido. I eat yours and drink yours, but I don't want to talk to you. In such a state, Shanks is also speechless. Never mind. Shaking his head slightly, Shanks' eyes fell on Lin An, who was on the side. Compare Kaido to Whitebeard. I'm more curious about this Lin An. Does it really work? The farthest from the battlefield. A ship floats on the sea. Everyone on the boat looked at the battlefield with binoculars. It was the Doflamingo gang. Dover, is it really worth it? This time Kaido and Whitebeard fought, and Doflamingo directly provided Kaido with nearly 100 man-made devil fruits. In addition to what Kaido bought before, Kaido harvested a total of more than 200 man-made devil fruits. Although most of them are zone devil fruit. But that is also something that can really improve your strength. Certainly. Doflamingo flashes his signature smile. For him, this deal is not a loss. Whether Kaido wins or loses. The man-made devil fruit's reputation will definitely be fully launched in this battle. This is my plan. It costs Kaido 50 million Baileys to buy man-made devil fruit from Doflamingo. This is because Doflamingo has to be protected by Kaido, and Kaido also invests in Doflamingo for the cabbage price. You know, there is basically no difference between artificial devil fruit and artificial diamonds. Except for the difference that it is artificial, it is exactly the same as the real devil fruit. If there is a difference, it is that artificial devil fruit cannot reach the level of fruit awakening. But, does it make a difference? The number of devil fruit in the whole sea is unknown. How many people can really achieve fruit awakening? As long as we show the power of man-made devil fruit to the outside world, do you think our investment is not worth it? It turned out to be the plan. The rest of Don Quixote looked at Doflamingo with a clear look in their eyes. 200 million pieces of real devil fruit are still priceless. The price of man-made devil fruit can be sold at least 100 million. The man-made devil fruit can shine in this war. Doubling the price over time will quickly fill up this hemorrhage. The reason why Doflamingo will give Kaido nearly 100 man-made devil fruits for free is mainly to make the number of Kaido's man-made devil fruit legions reach a frightening number. More than 200 demon fruit power, enough to scare anyone. So, naturally, it can stimulate people's desire to buy more. Shoot. In the battlefield. At this time, it has entered a white-hot stage. Nearly 100,000 people on both sides fought on board, and the sea bombardment directly plunged the entire ocean into flames of war. Originally, Kaido's beasts pirates had the upper hand in numbers. It was on the battlefield, and they actually fought back and forth. Seeing this situation, Jin frowned slightly. At this time Kaido and Whitebeard are fighting fiercely. The command of the beasts pirates naturally fell into Jin's hands. Fabric Devil Fruit Legion, folk. Following Jin's command. A boat comes out behind the beasts pirates. The hull is not big, but the breath from above is very uncomfortable. The almost substantive sense of destruction made everyone look sideways. Even the Whitebeard Pirates in the midst of the war looked in that direction with a solemn expression. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament hockey perception experience, close black lens bracket. What's this? Lin An is currently conducting a boarding operation. He has led more than 100 people to attack. At this time, he was also attracted by this ship. Roar. Hey. Buzz. At this time, there were bursts of animal names. The voices are varied, loud and breathtaking. Zone demon fruit power. Soon, sharp-eyed people discovered the situation of the people on the ship. Those are transformed zone demon fruit powers. Roughly estimated, there are at least 200 people above. How can it be? In this battle, even Lin An showed disbelief. Although it is said that a large proportion of the people I come into contact with on weekdays are demon fruit power. But Lin An also knows. That's just because the environment is different. The ratio of people to devil fruit in this world is even 1 million to 1, which is the ratio of conquerors hockey awakened. It is absolutely impossible for Kaido to win so much demon fruit power. Even if he plans to spend money to buy it, he does have so much money to buy it. But there are not so many devil fruits that can be circulated in the world. XE. Inside the boat where Sengoku is. Sengoku had disbelief written all over his face at the sight of Kaido's artificial devil fruit legion. Guy probably made it out of that guy. Garp spoke from the side. These days, the person Marine studies the most is Lin An. They put Lin An's shock fruit and sparkling fruit into Guy's artificial devil fruit. Although he deliberately intervened in Drake Rose's affairs. But because of Kaido's asylum and Marine's current situation is not enough to enter the new world, 507 can only give up. Even so. But after a long discussion, even Garp will remember Guy as a person. Really? Sengoku nodded. There was a look of thought on his face. This man-made devil fruit is about to become a history of war. As Marine Marshal, Sengoku made his judgment easily. Man-made devil fruit has an immediate effect on the improvement of strength. And it can be mass-produced. All it takes is money. For those big forces, this is simply the most cost-effective business. Kaido, is this your confidence? Seeing the man-made devil fruit legion, the ant's face also showed disbelief. The effort he expended to find a suitable devil fruit for his children can be said to be extremely huge. He even lost face for it. And Kaido can easily gather so much demon fruit power, how can this make Damo not angry? Man-made devil fruit legion. Ant murmured to herself. There was also an expression of thought and yearning on his face. Zone devil fruit is not bad, and eating meat is also a happy thing. Chapter 98 Jin's purpose, to sneak attack on Lin An. Advertise here. Chapter 98 Jin's purpose, to attack Lin An. Send someone to contact Doflamingo. I am willing to spend 100 million pieces to purchase his artificial devil fruit and provide him with protection. The ant makes decisions very quickly. However, I would like a second buy right besides Kaido. Red Hair Pirates. Shanks looked at Kaido's artificial devil fruit army and clicked his tongue in horror. More than 200 demon fruit power is no joke. And they all more or less learned the existence of hockey. If we attack together, even the 4 emperors will have a headache, even a super existence that avoids the edge. Although I don't really want to contact Doflamingo. But now, if I don't go and get rid of him, I'm sure I'll be left behind by others soon, right? There was a look of helplessness on his face. Shanks also began to send people. Go and discuss with Doflamingo. I am also willing to bid for artificial devil fruit. Doflamingo's project was very successful. Both Marine and 4 emperors are completely attracted by the power of man-made devil fruit. Even, in order not to fall behind, Andy and Shanks are now sending people to find Doflamingo and start discussing purchases. This time the battle between Kaido and Whitebeard. It has entered a white-hot stage. With an army of faux devil fruit coming into play. The situation that was originally evenly divided began to reverse. The man-made devil fruit legion passed by, not to mention that there was no grass, but it was similar. Drop out masters and organize a group of 100 masters to hold them back. With the nearly flat combat power of the man-made devil fruit legion. Margao also quickly issued an order. Finally, after the man-made devil fruit legion destroyed 10 ships, a small group was hastily organized to organize the man-made devil fruit legion, led by Margao, which barely blocked Kaido's man-made devil fruit legion. However, even so, the battle has already begun to tilt in the direction of Kaido's beasts pirates. And it's not just superficial. But the whole boss battle Kaido overwhelms Whitebeard. With the existence of artificial devil fruit legions, the originally average mid to high-end power has completely tilted towards the beasts pirates. Not to mention the bottom layer. Originally, the beasts pirates had nearly 20,000 more people than the Whitebeard pirates. At this time, it is not an exaggeration to say that they are completely suppressed by the opponent when their momentum and morale are suppressed at the same time. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an observation hockey experience, close black lens bracket. Tisk. Look around. Lin An also has no good solution at this time. It is impossible for him to reverse the situation in such a large-scale naval battle spanning dozens of nautical miles. But, as long as the morale can be improved, it is not without the possibility of turning defeat into victory. After all, the Whitebeard Pirates are only showing defeat, not really losing. Think of words that boost morale. Lin An's sight shifted to the island. As the saying goes, capture the thief first and capture the king first. Override the morale of the zombies that Whitebeard is now suppressing. Just beating Kaido is enough. Brothers, hold on first. Lin An settled the members of the Whitebeard Pirates around him properly. Go directly to the direction of the island. Boom. Just at this time, a huge black shadow struck in the sky. Sneak shot. It directly knocked Lin An into the air and crashed into the cabin. 3 major signboards. What is the flame calamity, Jin? Lin An came out from the cabin. Looking at Jin in the form of a pterosaur in the sky, anger appeared in his eyes. Careless. Because I am too worried about the form on the field. For a while, he didn't take precautions against his surroundings. Fine. Lin An's predictive observation hockey worked. When he was about to be caught by Jin's claws, armament hockey was activated. That's why Lin An was not killed by Jin's sneak attack. But, Lin An looked at his left arm. The 3 bloodstains above are shocking. I didn't expect that this block was blocked by you. Jin fell from the sky. The arms merge with the wings behind it. The figure of Pteranodon also gradually appeared in human form. It is Zone's awakening ability. Beast form. Sure enough, 4 Emperor's level powerhouses are not so easy to deal with. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Looking at Jin in front of him. There was a murderous look in Lin An's eyes. Now is not the time to be entangled with Jin. He wants to defeat Kaido as fast as possible to turn the tide of the battle. Since I know it's not easy to mess with, then why are you bothering me? Or, do you want to court death? Talking. Lin An did not underestimate Jin too much. Spread out your left hand. Place your right hand on top of your left. And Bafang Han's sword was pulled out from his palm. Jin is called the right hand by Kaido, and his strength is self-evident. It's impossible for me to let you just disturb the boss battle like this. Jin looked at Lin An in front of him calmly. Obviously. He saw through Lin An's thoughts, and glanced in the direction of Kaido and Whitebeard from the corner of his eye. As long as it can block you for a while. Quote. Wait until the battle over there is over, then your defeat will be doomed. That's right. Lin An agreed with Jin's opinion. But, can you really stop me? The voice just fell. Lin An rushed directly to Jin's direction. The Bafang Han sword in his hand directly pierced Jin's heart. Boom. However, the Bafang Han sword did not stab Jin. Another figure gradually appeared in front of Lin An. Huge height 10 meters away. A mammoth's head has identified him. One of the 3 major boards of Beast's pirates, Rich Jack. And it's Jack in human beast form. Jack came to the rescue, blocked Lin An's blow, and then looked at Lin An provocatively. If there is only brother Jin alone, there is really no way to deal with you. And what about my words? Hee. Seeing this, Lin An glanced at the island where Kaido and Whitebeard were located. There is no rush now. It seems. Ma Qian Zhao, I'm going to kill all 3 of the Beast's pirates' billboards. Kill them all. There was a look of disdain on Jack's face. I admit that you are strong. It can even be called a monster on the sea. But, Jack lifted his foot directly, and then quickly stepped on Lin An. That huge foot that came from an ancient mammoth contained tremendous power. It's just a falling trample, but it's so fast that there's a sonic boom. Jin on the other side was not idle either, and he condensed the special flames that belonged exclusively to the Lunaria clan. Double Emperors in the blade. Shout out the name of the trick. Jin's wings fluttered regularly at this moment. Flame balls shot towards Lin An like machine gun bullets. Chapter 99 Instant Kill, The Power of Lin An. Advertise here. Chapter 99 Spike, The Power of Lin An. It's an honor for me to be greeted by the 2 major Kanban boards under Kaido at the same time. Lin An spoke calmly. The Bafang Han sword in his hand began to condense the energy of shock fruit. A series of cracks spread towards the surroundings. Shock, break, with Lin An's words shouted. Lin An swung the Bafang Han sword directly. Cracks spread out in all directions. A huge barrier was formed directly between Lin An and Jin, blocking those flame balls. At this moment, Lin An frowned slightly. Looking at the flame ball, he noticed something was wrong. Jin's flame is extremely special. Even if the energy of shock fruit is isolated, there are some breakthroughs. Die. Before Lin An could think too much about Jin's ability, Jack's feet had already come before his eyes. The Bureau's feet can even directly cover Lin An's entire body. If this feeling is true, there is no doubt that Lin An's more than 100 caddies of meat will directly turn into meat paste. You two are really annoying. Elementalized startup of sparkling fruit. Lin An directly bypassed Jack and came directly to Jin. A streak of golden light in his hand spread out towards the surroundings. Under the clear sky 927, Lin An's ability is still quite dazzling. Not good. Feel Lin An arrive behind. A look of nervousness appeared on Jin's face. He knows Lin An is strong. Even reached the 4 Emperors level. He also made sure that he was not Lin An's opponent, so he even brought in Jack, who is also one of the 3 major Kanbans, to make a move together. Even so, He just wanted to hold Lin An back. But now it seems. He has already improved Lin An's abilities as much as possible, but he still underestimates him. Sparkle. 8 feet Chong Guyu. After Lin An's voice fell, countless laser beams had already penetrated Jin's body. Nail-sized lasers flew out of Lin An's hands endlessly, and then penetrated Jin's body. In a blink, Jin has already been beaten by Lin An no less than 1,000 times. Roll your eyes. Jin's body fell straight from the air. Life or death is unknown. How come? Seeing this scene, the people around were stunned. Jin is the deputy captain of our beast's pirates, how could he be killed so easily? Jin's defeat stunned the surrounding beast's pirates. It also boosted the morale of the Whitebeard Pirates a lot. Good job. At this time, Margao, who was organizing people to block Kaido's man-made Devil Fruit army, also took time to express his joy. Did you see it? This is the captain of the 17th division of our Whitebeard Pirates, pirate instructor Lin An, you are afraid. This Lin An seems to be strong again. It's unbelievable that he can reach this level in his 20s, how can he become stronger so quickly? You know, it's amazing for a strong man of this level to become even a little bit stronger, and Lin An's performance is obviously not just a little bit stronger. Sengoku looked at the battlefield with an expression of disbelief on his face. Lin An has been classified by him as a powerhouse of the same level as him. Garp on the other side also frowned, looking unbelievable. Seems to be. After a little thought, Garp's eyes fell on the shock fruit defense wall released by Lin An again. Until now, the defensive wall composed of shock fruit energy has not disappeared. Shock fruit awakening. Could it be said that the old guy Whitebeard has given everything to him in more than a month? Fruit awakening. Both luck and strength are in it. I have never heard of someone being able to know that others have opened the fruit awakening before. However, it now appears that the possibility of Whitebeard imparting Lin and shock fruit is very high. After all, no matter how smart Sengoku and Garp are, it is impossible to know Lin An's cheat. That should be it. Sengoku also had a serious face on the side. Whitebeard is enough to cause headaches, and now there is another Lin An in the Whitebeard Pirates. Today's Lin An will still be weaker than the old people like them if he breaks out with all his strength, but as he said just now, there is not much difference in this level even if there is a difference between strength and weakness. These old guys are almost buried. As for Lin An, she is only in her 20s. I'm afraid, the next Marine is going to change from the initiative of the Marine to the initiative of the pirate. A look of hesitation appeared on Sengoku's face. Garp doesn't think much about it. As long as he doesn't do bad things, it doesn't matter if he is arrogant. At most, it has been suppressed for more than 100 years. When Rox was there before, the world government was not a coward. Listen to Garp's almost indifferent remarks. Sengoku shrugged slightly. That's true. Also, when Lin An takes full control of the Whitebeard Pirates, I have already completely retired. The things of the future generations should naturally be prepared by the people of the future generations. Talking. Sengoku begins to greet Momoshiki. Send back to Naval Headquarters the news that Lin An is getting stronger again. Big Mom Pirates on board. Ant squinted her eyes and looked in the direction of Lin An. There was also an expression of disbelief on her face. Compared to Marine's calmness, she couldn't calm down at all. Marine can also rely on the red line to keep Lin An and the Whitebeard Pirates from going out in New World. But she can't. She is in the New World herself. The stronger Lin An is, the more insecure her safety will be. This guy. The ant narrowed her eyes slightly. She is thinking. Think about whether to strangle Lin An in advance on the road to growth, or change the strategy for the Whitebeard Pirates. Where did that old Newgate find someone with such potential as his successor? Red hair pirates aboard. Mihawk glanced at Shanks beside him. If I have to say it, isn't this kid more suitable to be the future than the rubber man you found? Is Lin An better than Luffy? With that question in Shanks' mind, he quickly responded in the affirmative. Of course Lin An is better than Luffy. And it's the kind of strength that Luffy can't see his back at all. But he didn't give up his idea. Strength is only one aspect. Luffy has something in him that no one else has. Listening to what Shanks said, Hawk slightly set. At this time, he suddenly thought of the purpose of Shanks going to East Blue. Chapter 100 Join the boss battle and fight against Kaido. Advertise here. Chapter 100 Join the boss battle, fight against Kaido. Could it be that the rubber man's is not Paramesh's rubber fruit, but the devil fruit representing that man? There are not many things in the world that can make Mihawk lose his temper. Even if it is death, he can face it directly. And this fruit is indeed beyond his imagination. That is zone human fruit, phantom beast species, form. A devil fruit owned by the man the world government fears. Seeing Mihawk's surprised expression, Shanks was very satisfied. That's right, it's the devil fruit. Damn it. On Lin An's boat, seeing Jin defeated so easily, Jack was also full of anger. Jin's completely silent appearance made Jack think that he was dead. This drove Jack even more crazy. Brother Quinn is too, and Brother Jin is too. Jack is surrounded by the extremely powerful armament Haki. Spiral breaths rose from Jack's body. You bastard, damn it. During the conversation, Jack's fist hit Lin An's direction. I beat you once before. You don't think that you are my opponent after not seeing each other for several months. Lin An is also welcome. Both shock fruit and sparkling fruit abilities are removed by him. A series of armament haki and conqueror's haki were mobilized by Lin An. Just haki's aura pushes away the surrounding ocean. Die. Roar. Lin An's fist and Jack's fist collided directly. Boom. The huge sound resounded through the entire sea. In the dimness, there seemed to be the sound of a sea monster. The surrounding ocean seemed to be torn apart by something, and it surged directly to the sides, forming a huge pothole. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament haki perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Bang. There was another noise. This time, Lin An's body pierced Jack's chest directly. A huge hole with a diameter of nearly 1 meter appeared in Jack's heart. Jack looked at the wound on his chest in disbelief, opened his mouth, but couldn't make a sound. The whole person turned back to the most primitive form of the murlocs, and collapsed weakly on the ground. Clatter. Just at this time, the sea that was torn apart, just because of Lin An's power fell back. There was a sound of waves. How come? The 3 billboards all died in Lin An's hands. Shocked. Doubt. At this moment, everyone in the Beast's Pirates was dumbfounded. Even the movements of the hands stopped and slowed down a lot. Taking advantage of this time, the morale of the Whitebeard Pirates was high. Directly resisted the attack of Beast's Pirates. The situation slowly went from being suppressed by the Beast's Pirates to back and forth again. Lin An looked around and took a look. Such a situation can be satisfying. However, just saying this is not enough. Now there is back and forth only because the morale of the Whitebeard Pirates is stronger than that of the Beast's Pirates. However, after all, morale cannot absolutely smooth out the pressure on both sides. There is still a gap of 20,000 people. The man-made devil fruit army composed of more than 200 man-made demon fruit power from Beast's Pirates is always the key to the victory or defeat. Now the only thing that can really change the situation of the battle is the victory or defeat of the boss battle. This is also the solution Lin An thought of when Jin and Jack came to sneak attack. Slow down. Lin An flew into the air again. It didn't take him too much effort to deal with Jin and Jack. It is not impossible to deal with Kaido. There was light in the eyes. Lin An came directly to the island. Quote. The ability to gather shock fruit in your hands. Lin An aimed directly at Kaido's head. Break. Punch out. The cracks formed by the shock fruit spread to the surroundings. At this time, the dark and fine cracks seemed like deadly knives. At this time, Kaido just had a fight with Whitebeard. Feeling Lin An's punch, Kaido raised the mace in his hand. Lines of armament haki and conqueror's haki are wrapped around it. Thunder 8 trigrams. A roar. The super strength is condensed on the mace. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a devil fruit growth experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up an armament haki perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a piece of conqueror's haki perception experience. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You picked up a power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket 13. With more than a dozen attributes absorbed into the mind. The tricks of Lin An and Kaido have also been used. Ask for flowers. Bang. This time, Kaido took 7 steps back, while Lin An only took 5 steps back. This is naturally due to Lin An's sneak attack. But it also represents Lin An's strength. Lin An looked at Kaido seriously, and his words were concerned about Whitebeard's safety. Daddy, are you okay? Fine. Whitebeard shook his head. His physical condition is indeed not very good. But if Kaido wants to solve him, it is not so easy. Leave it to me here. Listening to Lin An's words, Whitebeard frowned slightly. Hesitation was written all over his face. He was not afraid of Lin An taking power. Instead, he was worried about whether Lin An could handle Kaido. Are you sure? Certainly. Point 0. Lin An's response was crisp and clear. Hearing this, Whitebeard smiled slightly. The waves behind the Yangtze River drive the waves ahead. Okay. Then I'll go and see Margot. Kaido, the old guy's whole card is really a headache. Talking. Whitebeard turned and left. He actually handed over the fight with Kaido to Lin An. This is the trust in Lin An. He is also announcing to the world that Lin An is his successor, and will be the king of the Whitebeard Pirates and even the entire Whitebeard sphere of influence in the future. You kid, it's interesting. 11. Kaido glanced at Whitebeard's back as he left. Of course he knew what Whitebeard meant. After thinking for a while, a smile appeared on his face. Do you want to come to my place? I don't need you as my son, even I can abdicate directly and give you the Beast's Pirates. This temptation is really not small. Listening to Kaido's words, Lin An took a deep breath. Although the temptation is great, he also understands the reason. It is nothing more than Kaido seeing his own strength. And the reason why my own strength can grow to the present situation is entirely dependent on the protection of the Whitebeard Pirates, so that I can go from 0 to 1 and then have the rapid growth during the period of Impel Down and Summit War. Hee hee. Lin An sneered. If that's the case, then you should just surrender.